Marco Silva speaking ahead of this game, and the two teams striding out in front of us at Craven Cottage with flamethrowers propelling bright orange flames into the air and smoke billowing up under the floodlights of the Riverside stand opposite us. This is a quaint little ground with a brand new two-tiered stand opposite us. 4 independent structures away to our right in the Hammersmith end. The black and white flags are being waved. The neutral end away to our left, which also contains the Chelsea support in fine voice, and there's one or two banners that have been raised by the Chelsea supporters, including in the front row of the stand, which say Blue Co out. There's a few protests planned for the Brentford game in a couple of weeks' time at Stamford Bridge, by which time Liam Rosenior will certainly have his feet under the Chelsea table. You're listening to Game Day Exclusive live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Well, with their new manager casting a watchful eye from the stands, Chelsea look to build on a second-half display at the Etihad that saw Callum McFarlane emerge with great credit. Liam Rosenior only signed his contract yesterday, and he'll be the man in charge by the weekend. But tonight, the under-21s coach gets one last throw of the dice, and having already stumped Pep Guardiola, he looks to try and do the same with another talented coach, Marco Silva. Fulham snatched a draw against Liverpool in even more dramatic circumstances than Chelsea's pinch point at City, and it was a result that put the Cottagers on the cusp of the top 10. Chelsea are without a win in 4. It's 2 victories in 10. Their form isn't great. Further evidence that Enzo Maresca was not talking from a position of strength when he started to rock the Chelsea boat. Fulham have not lost in the Premier League since a narrow defeat here to Palace. It's 5 games unbeaten since then. This is not a simple task, Scott Minto, for a club in flux.
No, absolutely not. And I love the way Fulham have been in the last 6 or so weeks. You know, they were looking over their shoulders, and people were saying, well, could they be in a relegation scrap in the second half of the season? But the run they've been on, well, now they're looking towards Europe as a possibility. So again, it goes to show that the great job that Marco Silva has done, the way he's manipulated his players, the system is showing his flexibility, and again, I mentioned it earlier, we mustn't forget it's the West London derby. You know, the fans will be telling both sets of players exactly how important this is, and maybe it's more important to Fulham than it is to Chelsea, but it's a massive game for Chelsea in terms of what's happened with obviously Maresca going, Callum McFarlane in inverted commas in charge, but for me this has to be Liam's team, it has to be.
Well, it'd be interesting to see the structure of the Chelsea team. I think we know how Fulham are going to play. They started to use this 3 at the back system to release a couple of players further up the pitch. But with Chelsea and Cole Palmer playing in that role alongside Fernandes and Neto behind Liam Delap, coming in off the right, is that his best position?
Do you know what? Don't forget, when he first sort of came to the club, that was his kind of position, and he was absolutely superb. There's no way he's going to be playing like a right winger, like an Esteban or a Pedro Neto, so he will be coming inside for sure. You know, Mark Cucurella coming back. I can wax lyrical for ages about him, how important he is to the side. That's not easy being a left back. Moises Caicedo back in the side as well, but interesting, Andres Santos starting here.
Well, Fulham get us off and underway, shooting from right to left in the first half, all in white. Chelsea all in blue, attacking the goal away to our right-hand side. And interesting to see just before kick-off, the cameras panning up to the director's box, and Liam Rosenior sitting right next to Begdad Eghbali, and in rather animated conversation with the principal owner of Chelsea Football Club. The ball is deep inside the Fulham half of the field, under the lights here at Craven Cottage. It is the same postcode, SW6, for both these two teams, and Tom Kearney turning the ball out towards this near side where he finds young Jorge Cuenca, who looks to release Anthony Robinson in the left wing-back position. He gets very high up on this left-hand side when he's playing full-back, so imagine how high he's going to get up when he's playing as a left wing-back tonight. Diop, who's brought in for his physical presence, plays the ball towards the right, and then it's nudged forward towards Wilson. One over on the far touchline by Moises Caicedo, and then a very robust challenge on him by Timothy Castagna. Caicedo has stayed down, and Fulham have progressed up the pitch. He's gingerly getting back to his feet now as Fulham come down the left with Robinson. Robinson plays a square ball into Smith Rowe. It's back to Berger, who's 10 yards short of the penalty area, swirled out towards the far side. And Fulham continue their attack. Here's Wilson inside the area, right-footed shot. straight down the throat of the goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. And it's the first shot on target of the game and the first save of the game, and it goes the way of the home team.
Yeah, first of all, great tackle from Castagne on Moises Caicedo. It wasn't a foul. It was a strong tackle. Caicedo took a little bit of time in getting up, but it goes to show how good Fulham are, the way they went from right to left. You mentioned Anthony Robinson. I mean, the heat map against Liverpool showed he was basically playing further than the number 10, one of the number 10s on his side. So he can definitely boss that left-hand side. He's one of the best left-backs, I feel, in the division, and someone I've liked for years. As I say, you look at the players that Fulham have and in the groove that they're in right now, it's going to be a really tough game for Chelsea. And it's a big game because, in many ways, the slate is clean.
I was making my notes earlier on today, and I wrote down in my book overlapping runs, crosses into the box, recovery place, one-on-one defending, arguably the best attacking left-back in the Premier League. And then I wrote next to it, why has nobody bought him?
We were discussing this on the All Access podcast about when Kirkes obviously was brilliant for Bournemouth. And I said I actually preferred Anthony Robinson as a left-back. But the only reason I can think, it's not old, but he was older than Kirkes. But I'm really surprised. He's got a longer contract. Okay, he's not, south of 25, but my goodness me, the way some players in some clubs look at.
One by Santos up on the edge of the penalty area. He releases the ball to Palmer inside the box on the right-hand side as Chelsea come on the attack. They get to the byline. He overruns the ball, Cole Palmer, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. And that was just a little bit of over-eagerness there from Cole Palmer.
Yeah, look, I think Chelsea want to press as quickly as possible, and that's why I think it's going to be a really lively game. Liam Rossini's already talked about how he wants his teams to be aggressive in the first 10 or 15 minutes. This is a game where I think both teams will really be going for it, and I see lots of goals in it, I really do.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the key things, actually, from the interview that he gave on the Chelsea website earlier on today. It was 9 minutes of considered chat in which he talked about his team. And he said that, he's here to win. He's not here just to be the custodian of the club. He's here to win trophies and to make winning a habit. He said it's not going to be all about him when Chelsea win, but he has to make sure he does everything he can to make them do so. And he wants them to be aggressive and front-footed and make it feel like it's wave after wave of attack, especially in the first 10 or 15 minutes. Cuenca gobbles up Palmer, who tried a little cheeky back heel that didn't come off. Berger picks it up for Fulham and runs down the inside left channel. Feeds Smith Rowe, goes centrally to Kearney. Kearney under pressure from Enzo Fernandez and then shuffled all the way back towards the halfway line. Collected now by Cuenca once again. The young Spaniard flies the ball out from left to right towards the far touchline. Castagna. Cucurella getting a bit of a tangle, and it's a free kick to Chelsea in the left full-back position. We played just over 5 minutes. You're listening to Talksport. Sam Matterface and Scott Minto at Craven Cottage tonight with Sky Sports. And don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Newcastle versus Leeds live today. Search Now Sports. No goals in any of the other 7:30 kickoffs tonight. Bournemouth against Spurs is on the Talksport app. Brentford against Sunderland is 2. Crystal Palace against Aston Villa is over on Talk Radio. Everton Wolves on the Talksport app, as is Manchester City against Brighton. All the games 0-0. Burnley against Manchester United is live on Talksport from 8:15, and Newcastle against Leeds is also on the Talksport app. Matthijs Tel has scored for Tottenham Hotspur away at Bournemouth inside the first 5 minutes. And Tottenham lead. Ball cleared away by an under pressure Bernd Leno away to our right-hand side. Chelsea pressing high up again. Robinson and Gusto in a tangle, and it's Robinson who emerges with the ball. Cuenca gets it back to his goalkeeper again. Delap, who doesn't mind doing the pressing work, runs towards the goalkeeper. Neto joins. It's a little bit loose from Diop, and Chelsea pick it up high up once again and turn it over. Out to the left it goes to Neto. Neto approaching the penalty area, cuts it on his right foot, then stops, goes back out on the left again, then cuts back in again, feeds Enzo Fernandez, who joins the fray right on the edge of the box. He tiptoes left, gives it back to the Portuguese Neto, and then again on to Fernandez, who looks to elevate the ball into the box. It's aimed towards Delap, headed away by the robust Diop, and then Chalobah picks it up on the halfway line.
Yeah, after a good start from Fulham, and obviously that chance of Harry Wilson, surprised he didn't stick it in the top corner. How well he's been playing recently. It's been Chelsea with the possession, and you're right. The press starts with Liam Delap, and I said everyone starts with a clean slate. And I think it's a big game and sort of big few games for Liam Delap as well. He's been picked to play today. He came on, made a big difference, did really well, held the ball up at the Etihad, and it's not happened for him yet for one reason or another. Injuries, and he's obviously ill discipline as well. So he'll want a good game tonight.
You mentioned that everyone has a clean slate. Does he have a slightly tilted slate because he's worked with the manager before?
Yeah.
Him and Andre Santos?
In a way, yeah. And Andre Santos, I mean, he could argue the fact that he came on at the weekend and sort of helped change the game, that he deserves to be in there. But I definitely think the fact that, Liam has had Andre Santos and also Liam Delap does help him.
Here is Liam Delap holding the ball up well, taking it away from Diop and then sending it back towards Andre Santos, who flies it out towards Cole Palmer. It's a little bit short with the delivery, and Fulham picking up on the edge of their area, and actually dropping deep to pick it up was Emil Smith-Rowe. He plays it to Cuenca. Anthony Robinson clips the ball over Gusto and then into Jimenez. It runs inside the centre circle, and Tosin Adarabioyo, once of this parish, decides to blunder the ball forward and give it away rather cheaply. Kearney adds poise to the proceedings, tries to play it to the right, cut out by Andre Santos. Now Chelsea are on the march again. Cole Palmer turns, needs some support going forward, just holds the ball up, waits, and then brings others into play, goes back to Tosin, and Chelsea build down the left now with Mark Cucurella. Chelsea without a win in 4 Premier League games, the worst run of the season, just 1 win in 8 in the Premier League. And that's not entirely the reason why they changed the manager. There was a big fallout behind the scenes, but it did contribute. He wasn't exactly speaking from a position of strength when he started to call out the organisation.
It doesn't help, Sam, but no, it wasn't about the results. It was about what went on and what he said, both publicly and behind the scenes, I'm sure.
Gusto winning the ball from Berger. Andre Santos dives in. Chelsea bring it forward with Enzo Fernandez. Over on the left is Neto. Neto plays it to Cucurella. A low ball in towards the near post. Pushed away by Diop. Goes out of play. And away for the first corner of the game. And it goes Chelsea's way in front of the Hammersmith end. Away to our right-hand side. Dark night. Sky by the riverside tonight. And no stars sparkling above our heads. Just a cloudy, dark sky and a illumination from the floodlights, which makes the pitch look lush and green. And Chelsea, who have been on the front foot actually since an early foray into their penalty area by Fulham, come forward again, and then the goalkeeper almost gets caught out by Enzo Fernandez's attempt at an Olympico. He tries to swirl the ball in straight from the corner, and Bernd Leno just about got a glove on that.
That was going in. He was under pressure from the Chelsea player. He just ended up in the net himself, but for his sake, at least the ball didn't.
Gusto halfway for Chelsea, slender and small and hair braided back down his neck. He sends it into Chalobah, who's dispensed now with his braids and has decided to shave his head for the second half of the season. He looks as if he means business as well, Trevor Chalobah, who got his first England cap in June and wants to try and keep a place in the England squad. Marco Silva over on the far side is screaming at his troops, coaching from the sidelines. The ball's played into Moises Caicedo under pressure, but he turns it around the corner as Chelsea play out from the back. Chalobah then gallops forward, then plays it into the inside right channel. I'm not entirely sure he was looking for there. That's probably a ball that he would expect to play if Chelsea had Neto out on this side, if they were playing 2 out-and-out wingers, but with Cole Palmer, he's a little bit deeper. Yeah,
I mean, look, Cole Palmer's not slow, and he's very, very sharp, but he's not your nippy winger, and he was coming short. I think it was actually for Malo Gusto, who was looking to be that kind of bombing-on fullback, which I think is his best position, and not inverted. I don't think technically he's...
Not number 10?
Not number 10, but just bombing on down the right like he did in the final against PSG. But I tell you what, it's a big game for Cole Palmer as well. It was a big few months for Cole Palmer. Obviously, he's had the injuries first half of the season. We know how good he is. He's Chelsea's best player, but he needs to make sure he starts playing really well from here to the end of the season if he wants to be on that plane for England.
I just had a replay of that Enzo Fernandez corner kick. That definitely goes down as a shot on target. It was gloved away by Bernd Leno under real pressure actually from Liam Delap, who was backing into him. The ball goes back to halfway, and then Cuenca sees it all the way to Leno once more, and Fulham look to build. 12 minutes gone. It's 0-0 between Fulham and Chelsea in the West London derby, live on Talksport 2 tonight. And remember, over on Talksport we've got Manchester United's trip to Turf Moor with Darren Fletcher in charge for the first time. How long will he be in charge for? Well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is getting his car keys and looking to take the wheel again. It won't be long, I don't think, before he's back in the dugout, and he's very much looking forward to it. And I have to say, when he was the Manchester United manager, one, I think they did actually very well for large portions of that compared to what's followed, for sure, but also he was an absolute delight to deal with, a proper gentleman, and he certainly made it a nicer place to be around. And having spent quite a lot of time there, it was he's a proper character.
He's a good human being. He's a United legend for what he did as a player, and I think, yeah, you look back and say, actually, he wasn't as bad, but it's an absolute shambles they're recalling him. I'm sorry.
Here is Fernandes down the left-hand side, clipping the ball into the inside left channel, but he's overhit that, and he was contacted, I think, by Diop as he did so. He's complained that he was fouled in the release of the ball, which ended up spilling behind for a goal kick. He's on the ground asking for a bit of treatment. Captaining the team tonight in the absence of Reece James. He gingerly gets back to his feet. I'm not sure there was that much in that, do you?
No, I mean, look, it was a bit of a robust challenge, and there was contact, and it probably was painful, but these things happen. It's a physical game.
Ball up to Jimenez, who tries to hold on to it but can't. Drops to Chelsea once again, and actually Fulham have struggled to keep hold of the ball.
After that initial burst where, you know, Harry Wilson had the shot the first couple of minutes, it's really been all Chelsea without really, you know, testing Bernd Leno apart from that corner. But, you know, they're dictating the tempo of the game. And I think that's a really important thing to do, especially when you're playing away from home, to quieten this crowd.
And especially when you're trying to impress your brand new manager.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or head coach, as we must get into the habit of saying. You have to shrug off these tags that we're used to. And also, I think we mentioned this on the Premier League All Access podcast that we did on Monday, we've got to stop giving managers as much scrutiny and start putting equal amount of scrutiny on sporting directors nowadays, because they seem to hold so much more of the power. Here is Delap.
Which one of Chelsea?
All five. And that sounded like it was tongue-in-cheek, by the way, but there is five.
There are five.
Here is Diop. Inside his own half, away to our right, and Liam Delap putting pressure on Bernd Leno, and he almost gave the ball away to the German goalkeeper there. Chelsea do win it back high up the pitch, and Santos tries to fire that into Delap, but it was blocked by Kearney just about, and Fulham get away with it again. But there's been a couple of occasions now that Chelsea have won the ball high in the Fulham half of the field, and that's yielded opportunity.
Yeah, look, it's 0-0 at the moment, but it's Chelsea who are on top. Both with and without the ball, they're dictating the tempo of the game. You said about Fulham can't keep the ball. They can't, because Chelsea's pressing are really good.
Oh, it's given away to Wilson, edge of the area. His left foot is lethal, but this time he doesn't get the power behind it from 25 yards out to do anything other than dolly it up for an easy Sanchez catch. He's absolutely vital to this team. He's been brilliant over the last few weeks. In fact, their last 15 goals, he has had a hand in half of them, and he's looked the liveliest so far in white.
Yeah, he's had two chances now, probably the best two chances of the game.
Neto breaking away for Chelsea over on the left-hand side. He outpaced Castagna, then cut back in. I want to ask you a question about Pedro Neto in just a moment, but it's to Fernandes, who's 10 yards back from the edge of the area, looking for Palmer, who felt he was fouled by Robinson, went down, touched the ball with his hand, and a free kick was given the other way for handball. He was waiting for the whistle to go from Peter Banks, the referee, because he believed that he was fouled by Anthony Robinson. You can't take matters into your own hands, though.
No, play to the whistle.
And that was what he did, literally. Here is Berger playing the ball infield to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe back to Kearney. And now on to Diop on the halfway line. Callum McFarlane, the one standing up on the edge of the Chelsea technical area in front of that impressive Riverside stand, which isn't full, by the way. There's a few empty seats up there I can see, although they are quite expensive.
I was going to say, is that the most expensive seats in the Premier League?
Here is Sander Berger with numbers over on the far side, the right. Joining the attack is Timothy Castagna. It was a poor ball by Berger, kept in by Castagna. Wilson's picked it up. He's spotted the run of Robinson, who's joining the attack 10 yards short of the penalty area. Kearney sizes one up, hits the back of Chalobah, and then Delap doesn't hold on to it, gives it away. Castagna puts it out of play before Neto can get there, and it goes out over on the far side and away for a throw into Chelsea, and it remains 0-0 on Talksport 2.
You know what, Liam Delap, he's a great talent, he's got great potential, and it was a £30 million no-brainer. He's got to hold the ball up better and lay it off. I mean, I just feel his Chelsea career hasn't started yet. You talk about bringing him in, and as I say, Chelsea had to go for him with the money that it was, but
the release clause.
Yeah, I still don't feel that Chelsea have that centre forward. Robert Sanchez, I think, is improving, but it's going to be fascinating to see because Mike Penders at Strasbourg started a lot of the attacks. So how will Liam ask Robert Sanchez to play when he's not best with his feet?
Who does Mike Penders belong to?
Yeah, well, I wonder where he'll be next season.
Caicedo up towards Cucurella. Infield it goes, Berger intercepts, Wilson then gives it away, Delap, lovely turn, holds it up better that time, then turns it out wide towards the left and Pedro Neto again. He then slows the pace of the attack, then accelerates, sends it towards the far post. It's flicked away by Anthony Robinson under pressure from Palmer, but Gusto's going to pick this up inside the box. Now Palmer takes over, into Santos, back to Palmer again. Palmer retaining possession, looking for an outlet going forward. There wasn't one. And then it goes back into the centre circle and Chelsea rebuild the attack. Everton take the lead against Wolves. Michael Keane again gets on the score sheet for Everton at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. They lead by a goal to nil against the bottom side, and it's out of play and away for a corner kick to Chelsea over on the far side, which Enzo Fernandez will take. Is he going to go for the Olympico again?
Why not? Why not? And Liam Delap try and be even stronger. It's difficult when you've got a goalkeeper punching the ball out, but get the ball in the right area and you never know what can happen.
Here is the corner then to be taken by Enzo Fernandez. Neto, Caicedo, Santos, Chalobah, Cucurella all move into the middle of the goal. It's towards the far post. It does hit the top of the crossbar. It's headed onto it and then comes back out to Caicedo, and it's cleared off the line, I think even by Andre Santos, who was standing by the post. Well, certainly there was a Fulham defender there as well, but the corner initially completely outfoxed Bernd Leno this time, ended up falling on the goal line. Andre Santos managed to steer it towards goal and it hit the crossbar. And then it came back out towards Caicedo. He went to try and score and put it in the empty net. And somehow it stayed out, but it wouldn't have counted because Andre Santos was in an offside position, I think.
No, but not first time around from the corner.
Around, no.
I mean, you know, Bernd Leno, because of the corner that just happened beforehand, he'd gone almost to the near post. It's gone over him. It's kind of hit Andre Santos' shoulder and come off the crossbar. And then it's come out and Caicedo's had the shot and Santos is offside. But he's literally a yard away. If he'd got a proper connection on his head, he couldn't have missed the net.
Bournemouth 0, Spurs 1, Brentford 0, Sunderland 0, Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 0 over on Talk Radio. Everton lead Wolves by a goal to 0, and Manchester City 0, Brighton 0. The latest scorelines in the Premier League tonight. All the games are available on the Talksport app if you want to listen to them. Here it's 0-0 between Fulham and Chelsea on Talksport 2. Gusto's just got one in the ribs from Anthony Robinson, and it's going to be Chelsea who bring the ball forward, having around about 50% of the possession so far. Caicedo slides it up towards Gusto, a little back heel onto Santos. He forced it into Liam Delap, who tees it up for Enzo Fernandez. It took a flick off of the Fulham defender, who was Joachim Anderson, and then bounces behind and away for another corner. And every time Chelsea get a corner now, their supporters away to our left start getting excited because Enzo Fernandez's delivery has been exemplary.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really surprised it's pretty much 50-50 in terms of possession. It's just the eyes tell me that Chelsea's absolutely bossing this game at the moment.
Here is the corner then to be taken over on the far side. Again, they move towards the near post and the ball goes in towards that congested zone. Leno does enough to get something on it, pushes it off the back of a white shirt. It goes out for another corner.
I don't think he got anything on that. I think it's Anderson who's got the header away, and Bernd Leno, if I were Chelsea now and Enzo Fernandez, just every single time, don't even think about short corners, get the ball in between those sticks and put him under pressure.
Fernandez again to take it in front of the Hammersmith end, away to our right-hand side, heavily congested underneath the penalty, the goalkeeper's crossbar. It then takes a flick this time, clearly off a white shirt, who got there ahead of Tosin. But because Tosin, I think, was pushing in the back of Anderson, the referee has allowed that to go down as a goal kick. It's been launched up for Wilson. Wilson tussling with Cucurella. He's got the better of him. He's brought him down. And I think there's going to be a free kick on the edge of the area. It might be a penalty if it's a free kick. He's going to get sent off. He is. He's sent off Mark Cucurella. Denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. Bernd Leno released the ball quickly from the goal kick. Harry Wilson went steaming through the middle. Cucurella brought him down. The referee gave a free kick on the edge of the box and a red card for Mark Cucurella. He's been sent off in the West London derby. The question now is, if VAR looks at this, Scott Minto, and thinks this is inside the penalty area, gives a penalty, then will they rescind the red card?
Well, yes. I mean, but well done to Bernd Leno. I mean, how much under pressure has he been with those corners? But it's absolutely just a straight goal kick, not a hoof, it's a long pass. And he knows that how quick Harry Wilson is. And that starts outside the box, but it ends up inside the box. He's pulling and pulling. He's let go. And I think, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Might have to get the lines out, actually, when he does actually let go. I think that's at least on the line, which is inside.
Well, VAR will be looking at this and deciding whether or not it was inside or outside. VAR is certainly checking the possible penalty foul. Now, I don't think that there's anything really here to check apart from the fact that the geography has to be checked, and it is going to be given as a free kick on the edge of the penalty area, and Mark Cucurella is doing the walk of shame in front of the Fulham supporters, and the decision is no penalty, instant outside the penalty area. Cucurella is sent off.
Well, he can't argue because it was 1v1. It was a goal-scoring opportunity, and he's pulling at Harry Wilson. You just can't do that. And he's a massive player for Chelsea. Forget about, I mean, it was one thing to say you've gone down to 10 men, but for him, as influential as he is, to be sent off, that's a massive blow for Chelsea in this game.
I think he's given another yellow card here as well. I think to Tosin Adarabioyo for back-chatting. The free kick is going to be taken on the edge of the area, and obviously Harry Wilson will be favourite here. I mean, Chelsea's red card record this season is nothing short of a disgrace. He is the 8th player to be sent off, and we've only just got to January. There's another yellow card for Enzo Fernandez here. That's the 5th in the Premier League that they've had. And then one extra to Enzo Maresca, who was sent off as well. So in total, players and staff, that's a 9th red card of the season.
You know, Enzo's got to be careful. The decision's made. It's a foul. It's a goal-scoring opportunity. I mean, well done, Bernd Leno, as much as he's been under pressure.
And another one. Peter Banks, who loves a card, has given one to Cole Palmer. And that, at least someone, if you're the captain of this football club,
well, Enzo is.
Get hold of your players and tell them to shut up, because they are all systematically talking themselves into bookings.
Yeah, well, Moises Caicedo has come across, and I would argue he's more of a captain than Enzo Fernandez is. Just get him away. Decision's been made. It's very frustrating when you think you've been wronged, but I don't see how they have, Sam. It's a foul. It's a goal-scoring opportunity. He's pulled at his arm. It's a red card.
Oh no, we're going to have another problem here, because Peter Banks is now walking over towards the near touchline, and I think he's going to card somebody else. He's going to card Marco Silva. And what's Marco Silva moaning about?
He's not happy though, is he?
I mean, he's just been seen.
He's saying it's a pen.
He thinks it's a. He must think it's a penalty.
He must do.
There's no other reason for him to be so animated. He's screaming at the 4th official, and he's still going now. He thinks that should be a penalty. Instead, it's going to be a free kick right on the edge of the penalty. I tend to agree with him. I thought that the contact continued towards at least the line of the area, and the line belongs to the officials, and that means penalty if it's on the line. Be interesting to see what the PGMO Premier League Match Centre say. Well, the other question is if it's a penalty, does he get sent off? And the answer is, did he make a genuine attempt to play the ball? Was it pushing or holding? It was pushing or holding. He'd probably get sent off anyway, actually, Scott.
Well, that's what Marco Silva's probably having a go at. He knows it could still have been a red because it was nowhere near the ball, and I'm sure the lines might say in the future that that was on the line, if not inside the box.
3 minutes and 30 seconds since the free kick was initially awarded. Peter Blanks has blown his whistle. Wilson and Jimenez are over this. It's going to be Jimenez who looks as if he's going to be the most likeliest to take it. He steps up, leaves it for Wilson, who slams it into the wall, comes back to Jimenez, who slams it against another member of the Chelsea midfield. It's then bounced out towards the far side, and Neto is on the escape, and Chelsea have got to play a good portion of this game, over an hour, with 10 players, and they're used to it. Here is Castagna over on the far side. Berger back in field towards Cuenca. There's a little bit of smelling of blood going on from Fulham as the ball's chested down to Wilson inside the area. Right-footed shot hits the body of Tosin and then spirals into the air, and it's picked up by Robert Sanchez. And Chelsea need to calm proceedings down. Bournemouth 1, Tottenham 1. Evan Nilsson with the goal down at the Vitality.
Yeah, actually it was really good defending from Andre Santos. First of all, Wilson's free kick goes straight at Caicedo, but the ball came out to Raul Jimenez, and Andre Santos was very brave. And I think he got hit in the parts that no one ever really wants to get hit, Sam. You're wincing even just looking at that.
Oh dear. Chelsea making a change. Jarell Hato coming on, and he's going to replace Andre Santos, who's going to be sacrificed. What do you make of that decision?
Is that his last touch of the game?
What a last
in the
touch.
never region. Look, you know, that's a real blow for Chelsea, because they were dominating the game. I mean, for Fulham, you're right, they're smelling blood now. That they suddenly listen to the crowd, and they're really getting behind their team now. They've had a couple of opportunities, but yeah, look, to keep that balance, Hato has to come on, really. You know, obviously he came on at the Etihad. I think Andre Santos can count himself very unlucky, but you know, you don't plan for this, do you?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Chelsea restructure now, because Hato has come on with instructions for Chelsea. And he's come over to Tosin, who's had a word with a couple of the others in the Chelsea ranks. I suppose Fernandes has got to drop a little bit deeper now. Chelsea go 4-2-2-1, do they here? Let's see what happens. Maybe they need to go a little bit more narrow as the ball is picked up by Berger, who runs through the midfield, beats Caicedo, works it out to the left. Robinson with a cross into the box. It's a deep one to the far post, flicked away by Hato, who manages to steer it in towards the left fullback position, then goes rushing out of his slot. There's a bit of space there. Kearney picks it up, moves forward. Anderson tries to push it beyond Caicedo, and then Liam Delap emerges with the ball, but Pedro Neto wasn't really watching where the ball was going. He has just kicked it straight out of play, Liam Delap, but he was being pulled back before that by Anderson, and the referee, having played the advantage, now pulls it back for a Chelsea free kick.
Yeah, but it's just... I just feel that the Liam Delap didn't see the bigger picture there. There was a really high line from Fulham, and suddenly Pedro Neto's gone. Just play the ball over the top. And, you know, there's not many people that are going to keep up with Pedro Neto, but absolutely he was pulled back and Chelsea had the free kick. But just opportunities like that, split moments like that, especially when you're down to 10 men now, you have to make the right decision. And if you play the ball over the top for Pedro Neto, or you play it to feet for Cole Palmer, know your players and know what you need to do at any given time.
Chelsea down to 10 players. Fulham 0, Chelsea 0, live on Talksport tonight with Talksport 2 and Enterprise Rent-A-Car, whatever it is, they're here for it. Here is Tosin inside his own penalty area, sending it long towards the right. Oh, it's over the head of Robinson, but it's not going to be received by Cole Palmer. It's going to run straight off the greasy turf. He just didn't quite anticipate that, and it goes out of play.
He didn't, and Anthony Robinson was under it. And actually, if Cole Palmer had have anticipated it with a touch that he's got, I'm not saying he would have been through on goal, but he would have been the wrong side of the Fulham defence.
Igor Thiago scores for Brentford against Sunderland at home. Igor Thiago with yet another goal in the Premier League. He has absolutely ripped it up. Look at the space for Emil Smith-Rowe in between the midfield and the defence. Plays it to the left edge of the area. Robinson with a cross into the box. Poor one. Steered away by Tosin. It was too close to the former Fulham man. And then Palmer, again, turning, playing it blind, giving it away, and Smith-Rowe has won it back for Fulham. Into Robinson, cross into the box, away by Chalobah this time, and it's out for a throw-in. But you get the feeling that Fulham have got their expectations up, they've got their belief up, and the crowd are certainly up.
Yeah, it's a big moment for Fulham in terms of suddenly, because of that sending off, they're now very much on the front foot.
Kearney round the corner, looking for Emil Smith-Rowe. Chalobah away, plays it against Smith-Rowe, and it propels out of play on this near side and away for a Chelsea throw, and somehow Chelsea got to find a little bit of composure in the game. We played half an hour. Fulham 0, Chelsea 0. Remember, they had a player sent off, and they've had so many players sent off over the course of the season. There's a lot of context here. But in the Manchester United game, they made the wrong substitutions and ended up putting themselves further on the back foot until late in the second half. Against Arsenal, they made the right changes at the right times and managed the game very well and managed to get something from it.
They almost need that type of performance, don't they, with Moises Caicedo getting sent off around about the same time. In terms of Fulham, there's two parts to it. They're on the front foot now, really go at Chelsea from now until half-time, but also at the same time don't go completely gung-ho, because you've got to tire this 10-man side out.
And we've had confirmation that the VAR did not deem that the contact, the holding offence, did not continue into the penalty area.
Tell Marco Silva that.
Oh no, Caicedo's just kicked out Berger after being taken down to the floor. He was frustrated and he's kicked out at Sander Berger, and the referee's got a big call to make here, because if he believes that that was violent conduct, he's going to get sent off. Now, there will be a brief conversation here, but Chelsea have got to be careful not to lose their head. He's gone down and he's been given the free kick. There was a little bit of afters, and Chelsea just got to hope that he doesn't get penalised for that.
No, well, Enzo Fernandez went up to the referee and it was a shake of the head. So I don't think anything's going to happen there. Sander Berger's, he has fouled Moises Caicedo and he's pushed at him, but no more than that. So, no, it's...
There was also a moment when Moises Caicedo stepped on his ankle.
Yeah, but that was the momentum of the way the two sort of went into the tackle.
Yeah, well, Chelsea just got to be a little bit careful, I think, because they're in danger of losing their heads here a little bit. Caicedo goes to engage with Berger, who gets there first. It was a bit tentative from the Ecuadorian after what had just happened. Wilson up to Jimenez, out towards the right position. Castagna with a cross into the box, a dangerous one dealt with by Gusto. Comes back to Kearney, slips it down the left into Emile Smith-Rowe. Fulham on top here. The ball delivered to the far post, looking for Raul Jimenez, but it was a little bit too heavy and too close to the goalkeeper. Jimenez couldn't reach it, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. Fulham 0, Chelsea 0. Chelsea down to 10 players. And for the latest odds, you can go to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Fulham to win at 4-3 on, and Chelsea 4-1 to win the game. The draw is 21-10. That's all thanks to William Hill. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. You've seen that incident again. Inside or outside the penalty area?
They're not stopping it as it goes towards the line, so it's difficult to tell. But, you know, VAR obviously have that ability to do that. For me, it's on the line. It starts outside and it goes... Harry Wilson's really clever. First of all, he's got the pace, but he also uses his body to make sure that Cucurella can't get around him. And then as they're grappling with each other, I think it goes towards on the line, which is in the box.
Ball back to Robert Sanchez, away to our left. 10 minutes to go before half-time. It is 0-0, but Chelsea have had Marc Cucurella, only just come back from injury, sent off. And as a result of that, he'll miss the weekend's game against Charlton, won't he?
He will indeed. I wonder whether he'd be playing anyway. I mean, it's officially Liam Rosenior's first game in charge, and obviously you want to try and win. There's no way they'll want to be losing to a championship side, but at the same time, got the Arsenal game coming up as well. So here, Charlton, Arsenal.
London derby after London derby.
Well, if he is going to make changes, you would have thought it'd be the Charlton game, but he will want to win that first one in charge for sure.
Yeah, he's been charged with having a good fist at winning the cup competitions, and certainly his first two games will be in charge in two cup competitions that Chelsea might be able to win. Here's Robinson down the left for Fulham, onto Smith-Rowe, and he just can't control the ball as it's played against him by Palmer, and it ricochets behind and out for a goal kick away to our left.
I also think you only get one chance at a first impression, and when Chelsea fans, and there's a few of them, and I implore them right now, please, please, please get behind Liam. He's the manager now, he's the head coach, now. The decision has been made. You know, try and make the atmosphere as good as possible, as positive as possible. Just slightly worry if it doesn't go well, and obviously Charlton, both of them my teams. I'm really looking forward to doing the game, but if they lose that one, Chelsea, then they don't get off on a good start.
Bluco out, the banner has been elevated again as Gusto is done by Smith Rowe on the halfway line. Then Kearney gives the ball away to Moises Caicedo, and Chelsea turn it over once more, but there's no outlet for them anymore because they're a player short. Caicedo, excellent ball winner in midfield, wins it. A turn by Palmer, he escapes Robinson for the first time, but across comes Cuenca, and it's good defending by Fulham. And Fulham's intensity levels since that sending off have increased sufficiently. Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 1. Eli Krupi again, just 9 minutes before half-time, has put Andoni Iraola in charge of that game.
You're absolutely right, though, about that has galvanised Fulham for sure. And Chelsea are on the back foot. I tell you what's going to be interesting when Calvin Bassey comes back from the AFCON, whether he actually comes straight into the side, because Jorge Cuenca's done really well.
Palmer trying to turn past Robinson, gets it to Enzo Fernandez. The ball is sent wide out to Pedro Neto. Neto with a cross into the box. It's deep towards the far post, flicked away by the retreating Emil Smith-Rowe, helping out his defence. And then Gusto tries to produce an elaborate little flip which puts Chelsea on the back foot rather than keeps them going forward. Palmer retrieves it, slips it down to Delap. Delap trying to turn, back out to Gusto. Gusto again feeds it to Enzo Fernandez. They're down the right side of the penalty area here. Back into Gusto once more, being forced back towards the halfway line rather than attacking the goal. Onto Gusto, into Palmer, trying to turn, all very tight. Chelsea can't keep hold of it. Jimenez gives it away, and the ball is won back on the halfway line by Caicedo, who gives it to Tosin Adarabioyo. It's 0-0, 38 minutes gone on Talksport 2. And this result, if it stays like this, we'll see Chelsea still in 5th position in the Premier League table. Here is Berger, forward to Wilson, out towards the right, and Castagne's not going to reach that.
I think Chelsea, after that initial with the sending off and wave of Fulham chances and real impetus, have done quite well. It's going to be really difficult. They're going to rely on moments now. They've got to make themselves really compact defensively. Enzo Fernandez has got to be disciplined. Starting off as the number 10, he's now got to play as one of the sixes. He's got to help alongside Moises Caicedo, otherwise Caicedo just going to get completely overrun. Well, we want Palmer and Pedro Neto to get a little bit more involved in the game.
You'll remember that Chelsea have got a very good record against Fulham. They've won 11 of their 14 Premier League meetings, but the encounter at Stamford Bridge earlier in the season was actually turned on a VAR decision which went against Fulham when Josh King's first and brilliant Premier League goal was ruled out after a small infraction in the build-up by Rodrigo Muniz, who stepped on Trevor Chalobah. It was one of those incidents that after review VAR should never have got involved in, and that probably would have changed the game. Chelsea were poor in the first half in that match, came out in the second half and played a little bit better, but this time the VAR decision has gone in the favour of Marco Silva and his team, although I'm not sure that Marco Silva feels that way.
No. And didn't Fulham fans vote that goal as their goal of the month as well, even though it wasn't technically a goal?
It was a brilliant goal though, wasn't it? And he's a very good young player.
Great talent.
It's a shame that he's picked up an injury recently. Here is Gusto in the right full-back position, giving the ball away cheaply. Robinson into Smith-Rowe, back to Berger, and now on to Kearney. He'll spread it wide onto Castagna now, who attacks the right edge of the penalty area. Fulham coming forward here, 0-0, but with an extra man. Back to Kearney again, right side. Half-hearted appeals for handball fall on deaf ears of Peter Banks. Wilson, who's in the form of his life at the moment, finds Smith-Rowe, left side of the D, out wide to Robinson. Robinson with a low ball into the box, which is straight to Caicedo. He can't get rid of it. Chelsea are really struggling here, and Gusto from the right full-back position manages to smash it upfield, looking for Liam Delap, who does well to hold on to it and take it away from Anderson. Brilliant strength from Liam Delap. Fernandez back out wide to Palmer. Palmer now to the edge of the area, trying to curl it goalwards and bends it straight at Bernd Leno. But that's the first real show of teeth, flash of the Gnashers from Chelsea since going down to 10 players.
And absolutely brilliant forward play from Liam Delap as well. I mean, he had Joachim Andersen almost, he was giving him a piggyback, and yet he brought it down. Great little touch. played the ball out wide, and then Chelsea obviously had that opportunity with Cole Palmer, still 25 yards out. Would have been some strike to have scored from there, but maybe Harrison Reed can show him how to do it.
Well, Harrison Reed's on the bench, and for all the talk of red heads like Harrison Reed, it's the red card that has turned the tide in this game. 4 minutes to go before half-time. Fulham 0, Chelsea 0 on Talksport. But Fulham with the smell of blood in their nostrils, knowing that they can try and maybe get one over their illustrious neighbours here. Raul Jimenez in the middle of the Chelsea midfield turns and fires it to Smith Rowe's effort on the turn is over the top of the crossbar. He caught it well enough, but it was just over the top of the frame of the goal and into the Putney end away to our left-hand side. It remains 0-0.
Yeah, great play from Jimenez, just dropping off like he did many times against Liverpool as well. He's turned, he's played in Smith Rowe's, found a little pocket of space. No one's got tight to him, so he's turned and then had that shot, and it's just over.
Latest scoreline from the Etihad, where Manchester City have got in front thanks to a penalty for Erling Haaland. And it's 1-0, 4 minutes before half-time in that game. Still 0-0 here. 1-0 to Brentford over on the Talksport app. 2-1 to Bournemouth against Spurs on the Talksport app. 0-0 Crystal Palace Aston Villa on Talk Radio. Everton 1-0 up. And here, Chelsea have got a problem to Moises Caicedo, who's had a couple of battles in the middle of the park already today.
He's okay. When you're moving like that and you're down and you're getting painful, it's clearly painful, but he's going to be okay. And he knows Chelsea need him. He's so important, one of the best defensive midfielders in world football. And with the player already being sent off, and you know, Marc Cucurella is such an influential player from left back. I think Chelsea have done well since then, really.
He's now being told to go off to the sidelines to get treatment. So he has now gone down inside the centre circle, saying that he's got an ankle problem. And Peter Banks tried to send him off the pitch to go off for 30 seconds, which I don't really think is the rule, actually, because he didn't have treatment. Now he's got treatment, he's got to go off, but that's slightly different.
Well, he's probably thought, well, if I'm going to have to go off for 30 seconds, I might as well kill the game a little bit more and bring someone on the physios to give me a bit of treatment.
Well, especially bearing in mind Chelsea would have been down to 9 players. There's going to be 5 minutes, we think, that are going to be added on at the end of the first 45. I wonder what is going through the mind of the newly appointed Chelsea head coach, who's high up in the Riverside stand with a dark blue scarf wrapped around his neck.
Well, we're looking at pictures of him at the moment, looking very pensive. You can see he's so eager to get into the dugout and officially become the Chelsea head coach, taking the game. I mean, look, I think it's a real shame in terms of what he feels this Chelsea side can do, because 11v11, you can certainly watch them a lot more.
Here is Jimenez down the left-hand side, trying to approach the edge of the penalty area. It's Fulham come on the attack here at 0-0. On to Robinson. Robinson with 30 seconds left of normal time at the end of the first 45. Gets a return into Wilson. First time shot is blocked by Tosin. Comes back out to Robinson once again. He reverses the ball into Jimenez, who tries to turn it forward. He's looking for a space to get a bit of a shot away. He runs into traffic, gives it away, and Chelsea look to spring on the counter-attack here. Pedro Neto picks it up. Cole Palmer bursts down the right-hand side. Gusto gets it instead in the right fullback position. The attack slows and Chelsea decline to rush the ball forward, and instead Palmer stands on the ball on halfway and gives the ball back to Chalobah.
Yeah, 11v11, you can see a lot more of what they're capable of doing. When you're down to 10, you're very much on the back foot. The sort of tactics that you want your players to do and your team to do, it's sort of go out the window, really.
It's going to be 6 added minutes at the end of the first 45. Wilson steers the ball into the path of Castagna, who's galloping up on the right-hand side for Fulham. Into Kearney, who's in the middle of the Chelsea half. Now Berger hasn't scored for ages. He won't shoot. He takes the ball down the right-hand side instead. Got a little bit panicky there as the crowd urged him to have a go. He hasn't scored since about 1994. The ball goes back in field and all the way back to Issa Diop on the halfway line.
If that was Harry Wilson, he'd have gone touch, bang. Tom Kearney as well. Sander Berger, though, was like, what do I do? What do I do? I want to turn around and pass it again.
He hasn't scored since 2023 when he scored for Burnley. He's never scored for Fulham. He's a talented player, but that is not his forte.
Yeah, it's not his job, you have to say, but there was a bit of space to take that touch, take it, knock it out your feet, and then have a pop. And why not? It's 11 v 10. You're coming up to half time. Have a gamble.
I rather exaggerated and said that he hadn't scored since 1994. Of course, he wasn't born in 1994.
That makes me feel really old.
Ball cleared by Robert Sanchez out towards the Chelsea right. And up goes Liam Delap, but can't get on the end of the ball, which is running towards Cuenca. Finds Bernd Leno. Again, he fires it quickly, directly down the middle of the pitch, as he did for that incident where Marc Cucurella was sent off. Caicedo and Fernandez try to juggle the ball in midfield, can't get it under control. It runs through to Kearney, who sees it back to his back three, and Fulham look to build again. 47 of the 52 minutes that are going to be played, or 51 minutes that are going to be played at the end of the first half. Castagna trying to keep it in far side. Hato heads it back to his goalkeeper, and Chelsea have possession once again. Chelsea have picked up more points away from home than they have at the Bridge this season, but they're going to find it very difficult to pick points up here, having to play over an hour with 10 players.
Yes indeed. And you know, the way it's gone since Chelsea have gone down to 10, and actually they defended pretty well, but Chelsea fans will probably take a draw now.
It's been one-way traffic, hasn't it, since Chelsea lost Marc Cucurella.
And you mentioned the home form. I mean, you know, the way they're just conceding leads and dropping points from winning positions, that's something that Liam definitely has to sort out.
Oh, it's crazy. 13 points from winning positions they've lost this season, at home alone. 15 points from winning positions all told. Here is Castagna far side. Back in field it goes to Kearney. Kearney across to Jorge Cuenca, who trifles forward and then feeds it into Jimenez, who then finds Berger, and now Wilson, who shoots into the corner, low past the goalkeeper, and Harry Wilson, who's in a purple patch right now, was never going to miss from there. It's super football from Fulham, who pierced the Chelsea defence with short, sharp, intricate passing on the edge of the box, and then a short, sharp finish from the man in form, Harry Wilson once again, and Fulham lead by a goal to nil.
Well, it has to be that man for Fulham, doesn't it? He is in absolutely sensational form right now. But what shocking defending from Chelsea. Some players look like they want to try and play offside. We'll have to wait and see who is keeping him onside. There's a pass in there. Hato's keeping him onside here. But then again, they're trying to play offside. Is that Caicedo keeping them onside? At
the far post, yeah.
And that's where, look, he's an excellent central midfielder, but in terms of when you're really last man, he's got to be looking along the line. Now VAR are checking whether the pass initially to Jimenez, whether his back heel, it looks like his back heel is offside.
Well, don't go by the pictures.
Well, that's true.
After what I saw at the weekend, you know, like we used to go by the cut of the grass. See,
not anymore.
Well, you know, the problem is that, as we said last night on the programme, either the groundsmen are getting worse or the semi-automated offside technology is wrong. I'm going with the semi-automated offside technology being
not 100%.
Not 100%. By the way, that goal's been chalked off for offside.
Marco Silva will be absolutely livid again, won't he?
Well, it's another VAR overturn that benefits Chelsea in a game against Fulham, and it's back to 0-0. Rodrigo Jimenez, they've put on the board here. Raul Jimenez is the man offside. He just slightly, his back heel was offside as the ball was played up. He held it up, sent it wide into Berger, then fed into the path of Harry Wilson, whose finish was terrific. Now Delap at the other end trying to do something about it. And I tell you what, that's a big moment in the game, Scott, because had Chelsea have gone in at half-time 1-0 down, they would have been completely dispirited after losing Cucurella as well.
Absolutely. You know, to get into 0-0 after they've played half of the first half with 10 men, I think they've done very, very well to have conceded right on half-time. Psychologically, that would have been a massive blow for sure. So not only Hato, but Caicedo as well will be breathing a sigh of relief.
Absolutely.
Big time.
Absolutely, because it wasn't great defending, as you pointed out, but it was good football from Fulham, and they may be encouraged by that. Here's Kearney picking the ball up in the middle of the park, playing it out towards the left, onto Robinson, who comes forward once again. He goes on the outside. Wilson got in his way, and then the back heel to Wilson was poor. Palmer picks it up and Chelsea look for an outlet. Where can he go? Nowhere. So he runs into Cuenca, who then decides to rugby tackle him for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Should get a yellow card for that. And eventually Peter Banks, after getting some advice from the Chelsea players, does distribute one.
I don't think he was going to get the yellow card. I mean, it was. He's gone. It's not exactly gone past him. He's gone to the side of him, and he was just about to try and play a crossfield pass for Liam Delap, who'd spun and made a really good run. Cuenca's just put both arms across him. It's a definite foul and a yellow card. Didn't look like he was going to give it. 4 or 5 Chelsea players were complaining, including Cole Palmer, and then suddenly got the card out.
I will suggest that what actually happened is that the assistant on this near side was talking in his ear and said to him that he thought it was the breaking up of a promising attack and therefore should get a yellow card.
Well, the referee's close to him. He's closer than the referee's assistant. You should better see that.
Well, I'm just trying to defend him because I don't want to believe that the Chelsea players' pressure has resulted in a yellow card.
They'd never do anything like that, of course.
There is the half-time whistle, and you just wonder what Liam Rosenior will have made of that first 45 minutes. Callum McFarlane inspired his team to come back in difficult circumstances on Sunday, and he's certainly got some work to do at half-time here. The mountain that his team have been asked to climb would have been bigger had Harry Wilson's goal ended up counting only for VAR to intervene. Previously, VAR did not give a penalty, despite Mark Cucurella looking as if he was holding Harry Wilson into the penalty area. The Spaniard was sent off. Chelsea are down to 10 players, but their goal so far is unbreached. It's half-time, and Scott Minto, it's Fulham 0, Chelsea 0. What's your assessment?
Well, look, I thought Chelsea were excellent when they had 11 men and were dominating the sort of possession territory. Looked as if when they had the corners at any point, Bernd Leno just couldn't handle any of them coming in from Enzo Fernandez. So really disappointing from Chelsea's point of view. Mark Cucurella got sent off, but it was a sending off. You know, Bernd Leno from one of those corners, he went out for a goal kick, looked up, Harry Wilson, another great run. We saw him do that at the Cottage at the weekend, and he was very clever. He's quick, but he also got his body across Cucurella, so Cucurella wasn't able to get in front of him. And yeah, look, you know, we haven't seen definitive pictures of it in terms of a still, have we? But it looked to me, obviously it definitely started outside, but I think it certainly hit the line, carried onto the line, which is inside. So to go down to 10 men, I think from then on it just completely changed the game. And it wasn't as if Chelsea were playing particularly badly, but it just galvanised not just the Fulham players, but the Fulham crowd as well. And yeah, it was a big moment right on half-time, that being offside. It was offside. Marco Silva can't complain with that. But for Chelsea to go in 0-0 down to 10 men, I think they've done okay considering they are a man down.
Of course, if Arsene Wenger had his way, the daylight rule would already be in place, yes. And obviously that would have counted that goal.
Would have done, yes.
I know you've been researching that.
Well,
today.
You know, Perry Groves and I were discussing today. I think it's going to be out at the weekend on the daily podcast, Talksport Daily Podcast, about Arsene Wenger's proposal. I'm not 100% behind Arsene Wenger at the moment. From the moment you said he won the World Cup every 2 years, but with this one, I'm actually for it. Let's give it a go. But the law hasn't come in yet, Sam.
It hasn't.
So it was a correct decision.
Chelsea have only won one of their 4 Premier League games this season. Yes, there have been 4 Premier League games this season when they've had a player sent off. That victory came against Nottingham Forest back in October. We'll see if they can manage to fashion a victory here in the second half at Craven Cottage in the next few minutes. Half-time then, under the lights by the banks of the River Thames, and it is Fulham 0, Chelsea 0.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Hi, just leaving work now. Sorry it's a bit loud. Basically, so I was thinking we could get Mackey's tonight. Had a Big Mac on my mind all day, and delivery fee on the app is now from 99p. So, you in? Of course you are. Ha, love you. Bye.
Exclusively on the McDonald's app. 18 plus. Service fee and small order fee may apply. Participating restaurants. Serving times and T's and C's apply.
Incredible scenes here at the Village Hotel's Pub and Grill. Fans are taking their place in the fan zone with stadium-style seating, amazing views on huge screens, and we're underway. Lovely bit of dribbling there as she tackles the burger stack. Now they're getting down the wings. Sticky barbecue. Unbelievable. Oh, and he's hit the bar. And it's there! His favourite ice-cold beer. What a result!
Catch every game live in the Pub and Grill at Village.
Get in!
Find out more at villagehotels.com.
Imagine a place where you can escape for a day. Get immersed in a world of rooms, inspiration and expertise, where you can laze in luxury accommodation. And kids can feast from 95 pence. Tickets are free to everyone and include all the attractions. You've just imagined a day out at IKEA. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug.
Another 7-0 win!
Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
The beautiful game doesn't stop at the final whistle, and neither does the sun.co.uk. So you can go beyond the last kick with expert insight into the big moments and in-depth analysis of tactics, plus the latest breaking news and exclusives. And you can get it whenever and wherever you want it. To keep up with every kick, just head to thesun.co.uk. It's unbeatable.
It's another day at Screwfix, and Sir Mo Farah is still getting to grips with things.
So, Mo, with Sprint Delivery, we get the order to them in as little as 20 minutes. Okay? Mo? Mo?
Done. He was on the 18th floor.
Nice work. But, you know we use delivery riders, right?
Oh, now you tell me.
Sprint it in as little as 20 minutes. Screwfix. No stopping you. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream over 50 live Premier League games flexibly with Now. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Talksport Podcast League. Outspoken with White and Jordan.
Listen to the latest show whenever and wherever you want with Outspoken, the podcast from Talksport.
I still think there's a lot of questions that need to be answered.
All killer, no filler conversation.
Did you say that he should be investigated by trading standards?
That doesn't pull any punches.
Yeah, because he was rubbish.
Outspoken with Jim Mighty White and Lord Simon Jordan.
That's a bit over the top.
Well, there we are.
Out now.
Listen or download for free from your favourite podcast portal.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the Talksport hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
An improvement week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the Talksport hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The UK's #1 football experience.
Kick off live on Talksport 2.
Chalobah, Cucurella all move into the middle of the goal. It's towards the far post. It does hit the top of the crossbar. It's headed onto it and it comes back out to Caicedo and it's cleared off the line, I think even by Andre Santos, who was standing by the post.
He's literally a yard away. If he'd got a proper connection on his head, he couldn't have missed the net.
It's been launched up for Wilson. Wilson tussling with Cucurella. He's got the better of him. He's brought him down. And I think there's going to be a free kick on the edge of the area. It might be a penalty. If it's a free kick, he's going to get sent off. He is. He's sent off Marc Cucurella. I mean, Chelsea's red card record this season is nothing short of a disgrace.
Just get him away. Decision's been made. It's very frustrating when you think you've been wronged, but I don't see how they have.
If you're the captain of this football club,
well, Enzo is.
Get hold of your players and tell them to shut up, because they are all systematically talking themselves into bookings. Feeds it into Jimenez, who then finds Berger, and now Wilson, who shoots into the corner, low past the goalkeeper, and Harry Wilson, who's in a purple patch right now, was never going to miss from there.
Now VAR are checking whether the pass initially to Jimenez, whether his back heel, it looks like his back heel is offside.
By the way, that goal's been chalked off for offside.
Marco Silva will be absolutely livid again, won't he?
He often is, and he doesn't really like technology. He doesn't like VAR, he doesn't like officials, and he makes that pretty plain pretty often, Marco Silva, and he'll be a little bit disappointed I think that some of the decisions have gone against him tonight. When Will Hobbs talks to him a little bit later on, I'm sure that he will be eminently frustrated. Half-time in our 7:30 kickoffs across the Premier League. Bournemouth lead Spurs by 2-1. Spurs took the lead after 5 minutes from Matthias Tell, only for Evan Nilsson and Junior Krupi to score within 10-15 minutes of each other to put Bournemouth in front at the break. Igor Thiago, a fantastic run he is on in the Premier League this season. A super display, capped again with another goal tonight. He's put Brentford in front. It's goal number 15 of the season in the Premier League alone, which is pretty impressive for Igor Thiago. Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 0 is the half-time score from Selhurst Park. Everton 1-0 up against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Fulham 0, Chelsea 0. Chelsea down to 10 players, as you know. And Manchester City lead against Brighton by a 0-0. Erling Haaland with a penalty. And I'm just having a quick look at what I'm seeing from Turf Moor tonight, where it looks as if Aidan Heaven has scored an own goal. Burnley have taken the lead. I haven't yet to see it properly. I think he sticks his right foot out as a cross comes in from the left-hand side. It takes a huge deflection and goes over the head of Senna Lommans. And Burnley lead Manchester United, who are under Darren Fletcher today, by a 0-0. Bruno Fernandes back in the starting lineup this evening. Mason Mount on the bench. Newcastle 0, Leeds United 0. 16 minutes gone there. Remember that Burnley game is live over on Talksport 2. The rest of the matches are available on the Talksport app. I'll also tell you that on Talk Radio tonight there is live commentary of the game between Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. You're listening to Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Newcastle versus Leeds live tonight. Search Now Sport. And don't forget, because live Premier League action continues tomorrow evening. Not only have we brought you live commentaries yesterday and today, but tomorrow Talksport brings you an absolute cracker.
Maybe new champions will emerge. Arsenal will certainly hope so. And you know what? This time they might just get it.
That tug of war I talk about, that rope is coming Arsenal's way.
I think it's theirs to lose, to be honest.
Just like the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Catch Me If You Can.
Liverpool 1, Arsenal 0. The roof has just been ripped off Anfield. It's an absolute net buster from Szoboszlai.
Liverpool have spent 466 million British pounds sterling. They should be favourites.
It's another disappointing game at Anfield in what, it has to be said, is a disappointing season.
There are a few things that are constantly happening. We tend to concede if we are leading in the last few minutes of the game.
He's put himself under massive pressure.
Jesus is there! And he's rescued it for Arsenal!
Arsenal just keep finding a way, and you still feel that when they play badly, they're very unlikely to lose.
A supreme header from Virgil van Dijk. Is this Arsenal's time?
Still in early January, so we have another 5 months to go, and so far we have to do much more.
Talksport, tomorrow night, Liverpool travel to league leaders Arsenal, hoping to close the gap on third place Aston Villa. It's live and exclusive to national radio on Talksport tomorrow night. Make sure you join us for that. I'll be there with Danny Murphy and Adrian Durham from 7 o'clock. We're on air till 10:15 tomorrow, bringing you all the action and all the fallout as well of what is a fantastic fixture and the most goal-laden fixture in the Premier League over the last 10 years, would you believe? Now, there has been some recent criticism over Liverpool's recent style of play from supporters who have described it as a bit dull and a bit boring. And this was Arne Slot's take on those comments when he spoke to the media today.
I find it really hard to hear, but it's not that I completely disagree. I would use different words, and I would take certain things into account, but I want to win as much trophies as I can, but I think I'm also known for the fact that my teams always try to play attacking football, and I can only say that we are still trying to do so. But having a lot of ball possession, I said this many times, doesn't mean you play attacking. That does mean you play attacking football, because you try to win the ball back as soon as you can, and when you have it, you try to create something. But we are struggling to create a lot of chances. But I've said many times, we're not the only team that struggles to create a lot of chances. I don't think the amount of chances we create are so much different to some other teams in the league that are doing really well. But I don't like to hear this, of course, because if there's one thing I would like is us winning a lot of games, but also us playing an attractive style of football, which I think we've also done this season. And we have to find a way against teams that try to make it not an attractive game, which is their, of course, maybe even smart for them to do. We have to find answers to that, and that's something we haven't found enough yet. But we are working on that every single day to improve that.
Yeah, on the slot there. Quite baffled, I think, that people are suggesting that his team are dull and boring. I don't think he found that particularly engaging. However, his team actually have struggled recently, and if you look at some of their results, they haven't been at their very best, and they take on a team tomorrow night that are going to certainly test them. Arsenal want to be the champions-elect, want to be considered as such, and you'll find out whether or not they can take a step closer towards the title tomorrow night, live on Talksport. 8 o'clock start, Arsenal against Liverpool. Adrian Durham presenting it. I'll be there with Danny Murphy. Looking forward to that. You're listening to Game Day Exclusive, live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. We've got more live commentary over the weekend for you as well. The FA Cup is just around the corner. Wrexham against Nottingham Forest is Friday night. Saturday, Macclesfield Palace, Everton Sunderland, Newcastle Bournemouth, Tottenham Aston Villa, Charlton Chelsea. Wow, so many games to bring you on Saturday, live from the FA Cup third round, the best cup competition in the world. Had a change at half-time. George Cuenca is off, and on in his place is Kevin, which means Fulham, Scott Minto, are going for it in the second half. Chelsea down to 10 players. What are you expecting?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's a really good management from Marco Silva. There's no point in having that extra defender because obviously Chelsea are a man down.
Chelsea shooting from right to left towards the Hammersmith end, where the Putney end, where their fans are housed, away to our left in this second half. And Fulham all in white shooting towards the Hammersmith end, away to our right-hand side. And they've made just that one change. And a change of system as a result of that. It means that Anderson and Diop go in as the two centre-halves, with Robinson on the left and Castagna on the right. It'll be Kearney and Berger in the centre of midfield, and then a three-pronged attack of Kevin on the left, Wilson on the right. And the 10 is Smith Rowe, and then Jimenez up top. Chelsea down to 10 players. Have Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Chalobah, Tosin and Hato as the back four. Caicedo and Fernandes in midfield, with Palmer, Neto and Delap going forward. No changes for them at the break. Robinson coming forward down the left-hand side for Fulham. A low crossing towards the near post, steered away by Tosin, high into the air and out for a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area on the Fulham left.
And look, I don't mean to have a go at Ruben Amorim. There's no point anymore. But you remember when at Old Trafford, Everton were down to 10 men, and yet he still kept the same system, and we know what happened there.
Here is Smith Rowe trying to find a pocket of space. It was a little dig, that, just so you know. Well, it's picked up. I noticed it.
Marco Silva, just really good management.
Here is Kevin down by the byline, producing a cross into the box towards the far edge of the area. As Neto gets up above Castagna somehow, manages to hoik it clear, and then Delap does brilliantly again to hold the ball up and work it out towards his left-hand side. Neto scampering away, using his speed to get to the edge of the area, ran out of legs, decided to smash it goalwards, didn't wait for support, and smashed it miles behind.
It's a one-on-one situation. I don't want to sort of criticise Pedro Neto because he's arguably been Chelsea's best player this season, certainly one of them. But the pace that he's got up against this Diop, why not really go out and take him into the box where the defender won't want to make that challenge, and then get half a yard and have a shot a little bit closer.
Well, I did say to you that earlier in the commentary, I wanted to ask you a question about Pedro Neto, and it was centred around that. Then the incident with Cucurella happened and we didn't get the opportunity. But I was listening to Gary Neville on commentary duty on Sunday afternoon when Chelsea were playing Manchester City, and he was saying, I like Pedro Neto as a player, but I always look at him and think, there's something else there. There's a bit more. He could be a little bit more aggressive. He could be a bit more assertive. He gets into good positions and then almost sometimes checks back or just doesn't take the risky option.
Yeah, I just think with the pace that he's got, no defender wants to be in that one-on-one situation, and Diop was in that situation, and Chelsea aren't going to get many opportunities in this second half.
Palmer has worked the ball to Fernandes, who's found Neto into the box towards Delap. It's missed him and cleared away by Robinson. A collision between Castagna and Neto. Chelsea want a free kick they're not going to be given. Hatto has won it back. Neto is still down. Berger's bringing it clear. Hatto is making a nuisance of himself, does well, wins the ball high up, nudges it out of play. It's away for a throw-in. Peter Banks is now dealing with the Neto situation, who still is suggesting that he was fouled. The referee is not going to give Chelsea a free kick, and it's play on.
No, but it's been a good start from Chelsea. We've got to keep on saying it. They're down to 10 men, and a point at the Cottage in a West London derby, the way that Fulham have been playing in the second half of that first half. I think a point to be very good, but I don't know, Chelsea are trying to attack when they possibly can, and they've been on the front foot more so than Fulham in the second half.
The Spanish Supercopa has its semi-final stage tonight. Barcelona 5-0 up against Athletic Club de Bilbao.
You are fluent, aren't you?
Not really, no. Here is Wilson, edge of the area, trying to shoot from distance, and actually that was misjudged by Sanchez. Initially I think he felt that was going wide. He had taken a little deflection from the edge of the box, and it was scooting towards goal, and all of a sudden Sanchez had a bit of a panic on and started to scramble.
He did. I mean, he did have it covered in the end, but it shot straight into Trevor Chalobah, and it's spinning, and it's one of those as the keeper you're thinking, no, that's not spinning in, is it? He was scrambling there, but yeah, he realised it was wide.
Corner kick then taken short into Kevin from Harry Wilson, then delivers a second ball into the box, which is flicked on by Diop, and it goes well behind. Yes, I mentioned the Barcelona 5-0 up against Athletic Club de Bilbao. Ferran Torres, Fermin Lopez, Rafinha's got two, he's had such a good spell. And is that Rooney Badaji who's scored for Barcelona tonight? I must have missed something, because he was at Copenhagen, wasn't he? He scored against Manchester United. Do you remember that famous goal?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I was in Copenhagen 2 days ago. No one wants to hear about that.
You're brokering the transfer.
Something like that. If anyone ever does go there, go to the Tivoli amusement park. It's really nice.
And here ends the message from the Danish Tourist Board. Ball clear by Castagna from the right full-back position. 5 minutes into the second half.
I want free entry next time I go.
Yeah, I bet you do. All right, Crook 2. We're spending a little bit too much time, I think, with our esteemed colleague. Ball has gone out towards the far side, and Fulham are on the attack with Anthony Robinson. And it's interesting, they sort of went to a back three because it allowed Harry Wilson to get closer to Raul Jimenez, and actually he's still playing very close up alongside Raul Jimenez in this second half, almost given a bit of a free role, I think.
Yeah, he is, and you know, again, it's just really good versatile play from Marco Silva, realising they're one man down, we don't need that extra defender, let's have the ball and the extra man a little bit further up the pitch.
Here's Kevin down the left into the penalty area. He gets the ball to his right foot, cross towards Jimenez, who flicks it into the air. It drops on the penalty spot. Fernandez with a bit of a high boot, but he manages to scoop it away, and it goes up towards the halfway line. It's still 0-0. 52 minutes on the clock. Chelsea down to 10 players since the 27th minute when Mark Cucurella was sent off. The ball has been worked wide for Fulham, and now Castagna down the right side of the box. A lovely cross into the area, headed away by Chalobah, ahead of Raul Jimenez, and the ball goes out towards the far side. But again, the second half now starting to take on a familiar pattern of Fulham coming forward and Chelsea having to defend for their lives and looking for a border raid, a way out of what has been a bit of a mess since Cucurella has been sent off. As far as Callum McFarlane is concerned, he will be disappointed that Cucurella left him in such trouble, because Fulham are on the attack again. A low ball in towards the near post, steered away by Chalobah, picked up by Caicedo, looks to escape. Kevin wins it back. Chelsea turn it over though with a good intervention from Malagusto, and he pokes the ball out to Cole Palmer, who runs away down the right hand side, cuts in on his left foot, plays it centrally for Enzo Fernandez. There's lots of room for him to run into inside the Fulham half. He moves up to the edge of the D and gives it to Neto with the ball into the box, which is poor. He cuts back in on his right foot, then goes back on his left, and then hits it against Castagna and wins the corner kick away to our left-hand side, and it remains Fulham 0, Chelsea 0.
That's really good defending from Castagna, because Pedro Neto's gone down the outside, then he's come inside, then he's gone back trying to go down the outside, and he was with him all the way. But it's much better from Chelsea. I've been impressed by them in the second half. Again, I'm sure Callum McFarlane has said a few little things, and we've got to keep the ball better. Liam Delap's doing that, looking more dangerous on the attack than they did in those last 20 minutes of the first half.
Difficult situation for them to deal with. If they can negotiate it, he will be pretty happy. Here is Enzo Fernandez's corner in towards the near post, and it's steered over the top by Joel Hato, who flicked it with the back edge of his head beyond the goalkeeper and over the top of the crossbar. That was a really good chance.
Well, he's past the front post, so really he's got to try and just flick it on rather than aim for goal. Because then, well, Leno's got no chance in that. And I was just about to say, actually, as well as Chelsea have done in the second half, you know, they're not going to get too many chances in open play. Set pieces, and especially corners, they were really dangerous in that first half. Great opportunity for them.
Well, no team has scored more goals from corners than Chelsea. Here's Kevin down the left-hand side, getting the ball back towards Robinson. What a lovely cross into the penalty area, defended well by Neto, gets in front of the on-rushing Castagna, and the ball breaks to the far side, the right. In it goes to Berger, then on to Emile Smith-Rowe, then back towards Kearney. Kearney on the right side finds Berger again. He lifts the ball into the box. Jimenez with a header. Oh, it's brilliant. Powerful header from Raul Jimenez, who jumps into the air in celebration and dives to the floor. He's engulfed by the Fulham players down by the corner flag in front of the Hammersmith end. That could be a big goal for them. A brilliant cross from the right-hand side, steered in by Raul Jimenez. And Fulham finally get their lead. It's Fulham 1, Chelsea 0.
Well, if Fulham are to score a goal, it shouldn't be in that way. You know, with the centre-halves that Chelsea have, you should be quite happy for the crosses to come in, unless it's from the byline, and it wasn't. Chelsea look as if they were pretty set. It was a really good cross in. It was a fantastic run from Jimenez, just getting in front of Trevor Chalobah. I like Chalobah a lot, but he's got to make sure he gets his arm up and he doesn't get in front of him. And the moment he does, I think Robert Sanchez doesn't cover himself in glory either. One, it's a header from about, probably 10, 11 yards out. Two, he gets a hand to it. I think he should be saving that, really, but it's just the movement. Chalobah's got to be looking across all the time, and if someone comes across you, you get your arm up and make sure that he doesn't get in front of you. That's exactly what happened. And now the Cottage completely, obviously very much on the front foot, and it's an uphill battle now for this 10-man Chelsea.
I have to say, the Fulham fans singing there's only one team in Fulham. There only looked like one team in Fulham that was going to score the goal in this second half. It was the home team. They have taken the lead, and Raul Jimenez has got goal number 6 of the season, and it's his third header of the season as well. And it was a good commanding header into the corner, but I'm with you, Scott. Robert Sanchez has got to get down a lot sharper than that.
Look, I've stood next to him, and trust me, I needed a step ladder just to get to his shoulders, let alone his actual head. But there's a lot to go down. But as a goalkeeper, you're Chelsea goalkeeper, the header's come in from 11 yards out. You can see where it's going. Yes, it's a good header, but it's not like a Mark Haitley, Alan Shearer type header. Where
it's not a bullet, is it?
It's not a bullet. It's not a bullet. No, it does start from Chalobah, allowing him to get across him, but still, Robert Sanchez, for me, should be saving that.
What a season Brendan Aronson is having. He scored for Leeds away at Newcastle. 1-0 Leeds lead at St James's Park. Elsewhere tonight, Bournemouth in front against Tottenham by 2-1. Brentford 1-0 up against Sunderland. Palace 0-0 with Aston Villa. Everton 1, Wolves 0. Fulham 1, Chelsea 0 here at the Cottage. Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. Burnley 1, Manchester United 0. Foul on Caicedo. Raul Jimenez the guilty party. Free kick given on the edge of the centre circle. And if the results stay like this, Brentford will be going above Chelsea into the top 5 tonight. So there might only be one team in Fulham, as the Fulham fans are singing, but actually in West London it's Brentford who have got the bragging rights.
I'll tell you what, everyone talks about Reggie Lebree, and rightly so, and even Oliver Glasner. What about the job Keith Andrews is doing?
Where's that crook guy again? Here is Jimenez inside the centre circle, nudging it out towards the left. It's collected by Kevin, gets up to the edge of the area and smashes the ball goalwards. It ripples the side netting and goes behind and away for a goal kick. But they are a real threat now, Fulham, and they are certainly full of confidence, and Chelsea are just struggling to keep tabs on them.
Well, if Fulham get that second goal, I just can't see Chelsea coming back. But Robert Sanchez, look at his positioning. As he's going backwards, I don't think he realises where the middle of the goal is, and he should be a little bit more to the one side than he is from the other. So
if that's on target, it's in.
He's not stopping it. it's not stopping it. I don't want to be overly criticising Sanchez, because I do think he's improved a heck of a lot from towards the end of last season, not just this season. And obviously he had a very good Club World Cup, but he should have saved the goal, and there he got lucky that Kevin was just wide.
Well, look, his shot stopping usually is very good, especially instinctive, quick shot stopping. But he has failed to get down to the header, and he completely needed to reprogram his sat-nav there, because his coordinates were all over the place.
Absolutely. And look, it's going to be fascinating. We touched on it before the game started, that Liam Rosenior likes his goalkeepers, Mike Penders, to be playing the ball out, and Penders is very, very good with his feet. Robert Sanchez has been better because he hasn't been asked to do what he was at the beginning of last season. And it's not the pressure put on him. So if you need to get rid of it, get rid of it. And he has done better, but what will Liam Rosenior want his goalkeeper to do? He won't be comfortable if it's going back to playing with your feet and playing the ball out from the back.
Yep. Ball sent over the top for Wilson, who's got him behind again, and he's just nudged the ball towards the goalkeeper. There was a collision between him and Jarrell Hato, and the referee is going to stop the game here so that both can get treatment. But again, another long ball, this time from Anderson, the quarterback, a long raking pass through the middle of the pitch. Hato did really well, actually, not to engage with Wilson, and just had only eyes for the ball. He won the ball, actually, with a good header. Sanchez then grasped it, but both players have taken a knock as they've crunched down towards the penalty area, and it's going to be just a brief delay here. You're listening to Fulham 1, Chelsea 0 on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. And don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Newcastle versus Leeds live right now. Search Now Sports. Brentford 2-0 up. Guess who scored the goal?
Go on.
Igor Thiago.
Go again.
Another one.
Is he just behind Haaland now?
I tell you what, he is Erling Haaland, who never has any challenge whatsoever for top goal scorer in this country, can feel Igor Thiago's hot breath on the back of his neck.
I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. We'll move swiftly on. But stop me if I feel like I'm having a bit of a pop at Robert Sanchez there, but he was in no man's land. And if Harry Wilson had got there first, he could have lobbed him. Hatu actually ended up getting the header back to him, but fortunately cushioned the header. If the pace he was running at had to sort of almost bullet header him, that could easily have been an own goal. It just was in the middle of nowhere there.
Fulham 1, Chelsea 0, Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2. Tonight bringing you all of the action from across the Premier League on the Talksport app. Talk Radio has Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, and it's a midweek programme of action where we have all 10 Premier League games for you. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, Saturday, and we've got loads of commentaries from the FA Cup and Sunday as well. And Monday night, I'll be at Liverpool Barnsley, looking forward to that in the FA Cup third round. Here is Berger down the right side of the penalty area, into the box, across which goes past everybody, including defenders and attackers, and eventually comes through to Palmer on the far side, and he tries a trick to get out of a tight spot, kicks it clear up to Delap. Delap goes to ground. Chelsea can't keep hold of the ball. Kaoru Mitoma has equalised for Brighton away at Manchester City. It's 1-1. Here is Castagna down the right into the path of Sander Berger. Now on to Kearney. Kearney tries to slip the ball through an Ivan Idor and manages it into Castagna. Sets it back for Harry Wilson. It was a bit behind him. And Caicedo picks it up and steers it clear. And now on the scamper is Pedro Neto. Neto charging forward for Chelsea, getting up towards the edge of the Fulham penalty area, shifting it left onto Delap, who goes down the outside of Diop and turns and fires it back to the edge of the area. And it's good work from him again. On to Caicedo. Now back out to Hato. Hato with a cross into the box. It's headed away at the far post by Kevin. And then one back by Chalobah, who nudges it to the left. He didn't get strong enough header on it, and Kevin has picked it up and he will travel upfield. And he beats Palmer. Then he tries to beat Chalobah, but he was a bit cocky there. Tried to thrust it through his legs. Chalobah saw that coming, closed them, and nudged the ball out to the far side.
It's a good game of football, though. I have to say, Chelsea down to 10 men, and just before the goal, they had a couple of opportunities to try and test Bernd Leno. They weren't able to, but They do look dangerous on the break at times, especially down this left-hand side with Pedro Neto.
They look dangerous in advancing up towards the edge of the penalty area, Scott, but when they get to the penalty area, they haven't done anything with the ball.
No, the final third hasn't been good enough. And as I say, when you're down to 10 men, you know, you need special moments.
Here's Delap, though, running into the penalty area now, gets the wrong side of the defender, tries to chip it over the top of Bernd Leno, gets enough on it, and then Diop manages to get round the back and nudge it behind and out for a corner. Big chance for Chelsea, big chance for Liam Delap. He couldn't find the finish at the vital moment.
Yeah, look, I think he's playing really well in this second half, but he's got to score there. He's got two centre-halves going in on him, and yet he's still... the moment he has the shot, no one's around him from half a yard. It's a brilliant little over. It was in Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
And he tries to dink in, and it hits Bernd Leno's shoulder, but you have to score them. You have to score.
Yeah, Rosenior up in the gods, not happy. Chelsea not happy. 1-0 the score. Here is the corner, sent in towards the centre of the 6-yard box, headed away, but only as far as Hato again doesn't have the composure to get over the ball and ends up smacking it high into the night sky and out for a goal kick away to our left. Everton 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Is that Matthias Mane, who's scored again for the second game in a row? He's taken to life in the Premier League quite well, hasn't he? The young teenager. Newcastle United 1, Leeds 1. Harvey Barnes with the goal, Nick Voltemade with the assist as Eddie Howe's team get on level pegging. Going to be a change here, and Enzo Fernandez is coming off, which seems a little bit of a surprise, and on comes Reece James. I wonder whether or not, Scott, that the medical department have sent a memo.
Don't go there, you're a bad kid. I mean, look, Enzo Fernandez is playing in that kind of, basically it's a 4-2-2-1. He's having to drop back in, which Reece James can do that, but, you know, Chelsea need a goal. You're talking about actual goals, then Enzo Fernandez got more chance of giving you one rather than Reece James.
Well, that's why I can only think that there has been some influence elsewhere.
I'm sorry, you're 1-0 down.
Oh, yeah, but Castagna into the penalty area and the ball is headed away. That doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't. And
the medical department are autonomous, Scott, and they make the decisions. Here is Berger down the right-hand side. Castagna with a cross into the box, or flicked away by Chalobah before it can reach Jimenez. And then Palmer takes the ball over to the far side, then almost gives it away. Chalobah forward. Reece James is coming to midfield, gets it back to Caicedo. And then Caicedo looking to try and bring it forward. I was a bit surprised not to see Reece James in the team, bearing in mind he's probably likely to have a rest at the weekend.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. But I get it, Cole Palmer's not been 100% fit and he has to be managed, but at some point he needs to be playing 90 minutes, and he got taken off in the second half against Aston Villa when they were drawing, ended up losing, got taken off in the second half of Bournemouth, and Enzo Maresca was getting booed by the fans, so maybe everyone's wrong there, thinking it wasn't his choice. 2-2 then, and it ended up 2-2, 1-0 down here. I'm sorry, sometimes I know what the medical department, obviously so important, and no one wants the players to get injured, but it doesn't mean just because they might be in the red zone that they are definitely going to get injured. 1-0 down here.
Well, that is the way of things at Chelsea in 2025-26. By the way, Igor Thiago has now scored 16 Premier League goals this season. 16 Premier League goals for Brentford this season. He is the Brazilian with the most goals in a single Premier League campaign. It's only January. And that means he's scored more goals in a season than Firmino Martinelli, Cunha, Robinho and Gabriel Jesus.
That's unbelievable.
That is pretty impressive, isn't it? Ball sent out towards the far side and Cole Palmer. Palmer travels back infield and clips it out towards this left-hand side where Neto is waiting for the ball. Chelsea trailing by a goal to nil. Here is Neto into James. And the Chelsea supporters away to our left in the Hammersmith end are making their feelings pretty clear about the principal owner, Behdad Eghbali. I'm not going to repeat exactly what they're saying, but it's not complimentary. Here's Neto down the left-hand side, cross towards the far post, away by Kevin and out the far side.
Brilliant play from Neto, and that's what you want to see him doing, going down the outside, whipping in the cross. Great cross to the far post. Malagusta was the closest one to it. Cole Palmer hadn't quite read the situation, and surprising from him. Boy, did Chelsea need a little bit of magic from him.
Crikey, Brentford are 3-0 up against Sunderland now. Who scored? He's Gianmaluk.
I was almost going to say it.
68 gone here, and Fulham quite happy to contain at the moment. Chelsea trying to find a way back into the match. Little touch by Gusto, sends the ball around the corner into Delap. It goes down the left-hand side, and they're on the attack in the left flank with Neto. Back to Gusto, edge of the area. Sets it back for Caicedo. He then shoots, and it's straight at the goalkeeper on either side of him, and he knows that would have been 1-1, Scott Minto, because he caught it really well. There was venom in the shot from the edge of the area, but it was straight down the throat of the German goalie.
That is a great opportunity, and you're spot on, Sam. A yard either side with a strike that he had, and maybe the Bernd Leno wouldn't got anywhere near it. Went straight to the keeper in the end. Sometimes you say you just hit the target. There, you got to say you got to put it towards the inside of the side netting to give the keeper no chance. But well done, Chelsea, so far. I mean, they've been really good in this second half.
Well, I think there's been even better since the change, actually.
Yeah. Well,
and Callum McFarlane is going to get a lot of credit, I think, after the end of this period in charge. Certainly over on the far side I can see some more movement on the bench, suggesting that there might be even more substitutions about to come on here, and João Pedro, I think, is getting stripped and ready for action as Kevin sends the ball into the penalty area, headed away by Hato. It just evades Jimenez before it comes out of the penalty area. Reece James, brilliant, turning away from Kearney, clipping the ball into the channel superbly for Palmer, who then scampers up towards the right edge of the area. He gets into the box, then goes on the outside of Robinson. He's down by the byline, tries to pull it through the 6-yard box, and it was a difficult angle to try and score from, but it was well stopped from Leno and put behind and away for a corner.
Yeah, that's what we want to see if you're a Chelsea fan. Cole Palmer just twisting and turning and going one way and the other. The angle was really, really tight. So fair play to Anthony Robinson, because he may have been beaten, but at least he showed him down the outside on his right foot.
Another corner for Chelsea, which will be taken by Pedro Neto. His hand is in the air. He sends it into the near post. It's flicked into a congested area. It bounces off a white shirt and goes behind. And there might have been a handball in there. Certainly, that was the accusation from the Chelsea fans behind the goal. It has gone out for another corner, and Chelsea are just putting a little bit more pressure on this Fulham back line in the last 5 minutes or so. It's going to be 3 changes: a Champong, Gittings and Pedro about to come on for Chelsea as they freshen things up towards the end of the game. 20 minutes to go. Ball in towards the near post, away by Raul Jimenez. Big strong header, and he gets it away. Caicedo tries to get there ahead of Kevin, manages to beat him to the ball. Neto keeps it in. Palmer retrieves it for Chelsea midway inside opposition territory. Sasa Lukic is going to come in and try and add some control to the midfield as the ball's set over the top for Neto. Neto's going to get there. He tries to pull it through the penalty area. It bounces off of Diop and goes out for yet another Chelsea corner.
I'll tell you what, Bernd Leno has no idea how to deal with these corners. Malo Gusto's coming to go short. No, don't go short. I mean, they've looked really good in open play, I have to say, especially in the second half. But set pieces is probably where the equaliser could possibly come from.
Neto to take the corner kick once again. It's another near post delivery. It's flicked on by Robinson. He hits his own post, and Delap is there to turn it in, and Chelsea lead. And Liam Delap has a Premier League goal for Chelsea. He wheels away in celebration, screams in delight, because 10-man Chelsea are back level with their West London rivals. The corners that have been causing problems all night finally do damage. It's Fulham 1, Chelsea 1.
Well, thank goodness Pedro Neto didn't listen to Malo Gusto and said, no, I'm going to stick the ball in the box again in the area where Bernd Leno and the Fulham defenders just haven't been able to deal with it all day. It's a great ball in. It's actually flicked on by Anthony Robinson. It's hit the far post. And well done, Liam Delap. He's just pulled out a little bit, but it's still come at him. It's bounced in front. He's on his left foot. And people will say that's an easy finish, but he's had to be really composed, keep the top on the ball, make sure he's over it, and just guide it towards the goal. And it's exactly what he's done. Looking at pictures of Liam Rossini as he's just rocked back with his hands in his head as it hit the post, but then jumped up as the equaliser went in. Look, I've got to say, Sam, Chelsea have deserved it. They've been excellent since that goal, and yet the substitutions have worked as well.
Well, Chelsea making substitutions, so have Fulham. Fulham taking off Tom Kearney and bringing on Sasa Lukic. Chelsea making substitutions, we'll give you confirmation of that in just a second. The other Fulham change is Sessegnon for Anthony Robinson. Liam Delap has Only scored goals in the Champions League and the Club World Cup for Chelsea since his transfer. That is his first Premier League goal, Scott Minto, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
Do you know what? And he's done really well. I said a little bit earlier in the first half when they were down to 10 men, he wasn't holding the ball up. He was kind of laying it off and not reading where the player, his teammate, wanted the ball to be. But I think second half he's been superb. He's been really, really good, and he deserves that.
I think Chelsea just held back their changes they were about to make after preparing a triple substitution and actually putting in the card. So we got the information of who was coming off, actually. They've now decided just to hold back after getting the equaliser.
Good.
1-1.
I mean, I would look. Reece James has done okay, but there's nothing that Enzo Fernandez couldn't have done. Just please, look, yeah, of course, listen to the medical department, but you've got to win games. That's the important thing. You know, build up that confidence that way.
I mean, if you're Callum Farland, you don't really have to listen to the medical department because, you know, you're not going to be in charge next week. Just win the match. 1-1.
I don't know, in the long term, he might need to.
Yeah. Maybe at Strasbourg in a couple of years. Oh, good luck to Gary O'Neill, by the way, who's got the job as the manager of Strasbourg. Here is Lukic for Fulham, and winning the ball in the middle of the park. He's fed Berger. There's a foul that goes just against the Fulham midfield player, and it's going to be a free kick. Marco Silva is absolutely furious, by the way. Now they're going to make that triple change, Chelsea, I think.
Well, look, they've been working really, really hard, and obviously been down to 10 men since the 22nd, 23rd minute. But Chelsea have the momentum. They've got the 10 men against 11, and yet they have the momentum. Just give it another 5 or 10 minutes and see what happens.
The Champong is on, and he will go to right back. Cole Palmer is coming off, and on comes Pedro. And who's the other change for Chelsea? João Pedro, and Palmer and Gusto off. And João Pedro and Champong are on. They were going to make a triple change. It's only a double now. Interesting, they've left Liam Delap on. I thought you were going to take him off, actually.
Well, I mean, he has worked so hard, and I'd be surprised if he does actually last the full 90 minutes, but he's been absolutely superb. So as tired as he might be, he might be in the red zone right now, but he's now dominating the Fulham central defenders.
Oh, I wonder how that game at Bournemouth has gone, because João Palhinha has scored an equaliser for Spurs. Are they going to be in another situation where they don't deserve to get a point away from home but end up getting a 2-2 draw? Leeds United have gone 2-1 up away at Newcastle United, and have a guess who scored that goal?
What, Calvert-Lewin?
Dominic Calvert-Lewin from the penalty spot. Here is Harry Wilson down the right-hand side, flicking the ball into Lukic, who sends it out weirdly towards Castagna, and it was a little bit of a misplaced pass, actually. If he had held that and then turned it round the corner, they would have much more opportunity to attack the Chelsea defence.
Well, the reason why I paused there, I was looking at the bench Chelsea have.
Here's Kevin, moving towards the edge of the area, feeds it into Sessignon, comes back towards Wilson inside the area. It's a bit of a scrap. The shot is fired at Reece James, who clears it away, and it goes up to the halfway line. There are shouts for handball, and Reece James was on the ground, and Harry Wilson hit it against him. Here is Sessignon down the left, trying to get into the box. Kevin trying to force his way forward. He can't get there. Chelsea managed to clear, and Liam Delap, he has to be so careful because he does this a lot. He gets a little bit excited and he becomes over physical, and he's just barged Issa Diop to the ground. Issa Diop's boot has gone flying off into the night sky. Delap has just run off in the opposite direction. He just has to be a little bit careful not to go OTT with that.
Yes, he does. He has gone OTT at points this season as well. So, you know, there's a line. Yeah, we want him to be really strong, robust. The fans love it, but stay on the right side of the line.
Here come Fulham. 1-1 the score with 12 minutes to go. Against Chelsea on Talksport with Sky Sports, and don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Newcastle United against Leeds live right now. Search Now Sports. Here the ball is with Sessignon over on the far side. He feeds it into Kevin, then on to Sessegnon again. A low ball into the box, takes a deflection, headed away by James, but only as far as Wilson, whose shot goes towards goal, but James is there again, and then the ball fired in towards the edge of from the edge of the penalty area towards the goal. And then as Chelsea look to break away, Neto is brought down by Castagna, and that's going to be a yellow card.
Well, just in the last few minutes, I mean, Fulham have been on the back foot. And again, I can't give enough credit to this 10-man Chelsea and how well they've responded to going 1-0 down.
You're absolutely right, by the way, and the tactical changes from Callum McFarland, again, have been excellent. The timing of the interruptions from in-game with the substitutions have influenced the game well. But you have to ask the question, if Marc Cucurella doesn't make a stupid decision, Chelsea probably go on and win this game.
Yeah, they were comfortable, Sam. You know, the first 20 minutes, it was all Chelsea, not necessarily with creating lots of chances, but you get the feeling they would have ground this Fulham side down, and with set pieces, they look really, really dangerous as well. So it's a massive moment for sure.
Smith Rowe out to the right. Kevin takes it on, travels at pace down the left-hand side, feeds Sessegnon. Sessegnon continues his run, gets to the byline, produces a cross into the box. Jimenez is up there with a header again. He drops inside the 6-yard box. He's still not clear. Jimenez with another effort, saved by Rob Sanchez under his bar, and then it's smuggled behind by Chelsea. What a chance. And Sanchez this time coming to Chelsea's rescue. Yeah,
well done, Sanchez. Got to give him credit there for sure. The ball's played to the far post. I mean, actually, I think it's Sasa Lukic would have been offside anyway, but Rob Sanchez didn't know that, and he made himself as big as possible as Jimenez tried to head the ball back in towards goal.
Anderson from the throw-in on the right-hand side to Smith Rowe, far touchline is Kevin, the Fulham left. He attacks the full-back of Champong. He tries to get past him, then cuts back in, produces a cross deep to the far post. Castagna keeps it alive with a header. Reece James tries to take it down and away from danger, only ends up giving it to Castagna as he attempts to clear. Chelsea down to 10 players since the 22nd minute. 1-1 the score. Going into the final 10 minutes at Craven Cottage in the West London derby. Kevin's got it far side, twisting away from a Champong again. Feeds it back in towards the Norwegian Sonderberger, who's crossing the boxes aimed towards Wilson, who made an intelligent run behind the Chelsea defence. He still might get hold of this here. He does, coming back. Gets hold of it right side of the penalty area. Oh, lovely little ball into Smith Rowe. Round the corner. Right-footed shot saved by Sanchez again. Wilson controls it. Right-footed poke into the corner. And Fulham lead again. And Harry Wilson now does have his goal. They have been pushing and pushing in the last 5 minutes. And they have put real pressure on this Chelsea back line. But when they needed a man to unlock the defence, it was always going to fall on the shoulders of in-form Harry Wilson, who gets yet another goal involvement. He's in the form of his life right now, and he's put Fulham in front against Chelsea by 2-1.
Well, it comes initially from a really good run from Emma Smith Rowe in the box, and Tosin's looked like he's wanting to play him offside. He wasn't offside. He's got to get tight to not allow the shot to come in. It's a decent save from Rob Sanchez initially. He's come back out to Harry Wilson, who's put it from his left foot to his right. There's a deflection. It's gone through Reece James's legs but caught the inside of his thigh, and Rob Sanchez is beaten.
Marco Silva runs down the touchline in celebration. There's a brief VAR check, but it doesn't last long. He turns up to the gods and fist pumps into the air, and Fulham lead Chelsea by 2-1 going into the final 9 minutes of the game. And for all their hard work, for all their endeavour, for all their tactical switches, Chelsea are behind again.
And that's harsh on Chelsea. I think they've been excellent. We're down to 10 men, creating chances, and for long periods in the second half, looking the better side. But it's about moments. And unfortunately for Chelsea, fortunately for Fulham, that man Harry Wilson, you can say it's a little bit of luck because it's gone through Reece James's legs and there's a bit of a deflection, but you make your own luck. And when you're in that type of form, those type of goals happen.
Well, they're going to make changes now. Fulham. Off comes Smith Rowe. He is going to be replaced for Harrison Reed. So Robert Sanchez has got to be even more careful now. And he's very popular after his thunderbolt on Sunday afternoon. Well, what have Chelsea got left in their locker as Michael Keane is sent off for Everton? 1-1 in that game on the Talksport app. Everton 1, Wolves 1, Palace 0, Aston Villa 0, Brentford 3, Sunderland 0, 2-2 Bournemouth against Spurs. That game also on the Talksport app. All of them are. Manchester City 1, Brighton 1 going into the final 3 minutes of the game. Burnley 1, Manchester United 0. Newcastle 1, Leeds United 2. And Fulham lead Chelsea by 2-1 here. And Sessegnon has gone down the left-hand side, trying to feed Sasa Lukic. The Chalobah trying to hold up the ball. Robert Sanchez took an age to decide to come and get that. Eventually he did on the edge of his 6-yard box. And then he travels out towards the edge of the D. And Chelsea look to build. Tosin Adarabioyo nudges the ball forward. It's going to be damaging actually for Chelsea if they lose this game, because they will drop points in the race to stay amongst the Champions League contenders. It's a bit of a concern, that, Scott.
Yeah, the way it stands, Brentford have jumped above them, and they'll be on 31 points, Brentford on 33 in 5th place. Just wonder whether it might be worth making one more substitution. I mean, I'm surprised that João Pedro came on and it wasn't Delap, but Delap has been playing really well. My point is I would have kept João Pedro just a little bit later on, but there's still a possibility of Esteval coming on, and then maybe you push João Pedro a little bit further up.
Well, a lot of talk will be about Chelsea after this game because of Liam Rosenior being here, because of Chelsea and the narrative that surrounds them. But Fulham quietly were talked about as relegation candidates about a month ago. They're now level on points with Chelsea and 2 points from the top 5. Pretty impressive return for Marco Silva's team, who are about to go 6 unbeaten. They lead by 2-1. And for the latest odds, you can go to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Fulham to win at 9-1 on, Chelsea to win at 45-1. The draw is 11-2. That's all thanks to William Hill, 18+, begambleaware.org. Here is Neto. Is there a late twist in the towel here at Craven Cottage tonight, under the lights by the riverside, where the ball is with Tosin Adarabioyo. 2-1 to Fulham. Back to James once again. Remember, Chelsea have won 11 of the last 14 Premier League meetings with Fulham. They always get something here. They got a last-minute goal last year from Tyreek George. Can they get another one with Neto turning and spinning and firing it towards the near post and missing the target after a deflection? What an opportunity.
But still another opportunity with it being a corner. There's good play from Chelsea. They've done really well with 10 men. And Pedro Neto gets in the box, takes the touch on his right foot. It's a decent strike, and it was good defending in the end.
Jack Grealish has been sent off at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Everton down to 9 men, Chelsea down to 10, trailing by 2-1. Ball in towards the near post, flicked away by Sunderberger, and it'll go out the other side, and another Chelsea corner will take place from this near touchline. It remains 2-1.
Yeah, Reece James runs across. Just take your time, get the ball in the right area, because Fulham and Bernd Leno in particular have been shocking on these corners all night.
Corner number 10 for Chelsea this evening. Whipped in by Reece James, whose right hand is in the air and his right leg is whipping around the ball towards the near post. It's headed away by Anderson, comes back out to Neto. Flicked back in by James towards the far post, headed clear by Castagne, got in front of a Champong, who I think was in an offside position anyway, and the free kick is going to be given in Fulham's favour away to our left-hand side, and Chelsea have just 4 minutes now to try and fashion an equaliser. And Callum McFarlane, who's in charge of the under-21s, and he's being helped out by Andy Ross, the assistant coach of the 21s, James Simmons and Adam Keat, the under-21 head analyst, just trying to plot a way back into this game against Fulham, led by Marco Silva, who's about to steer his team into European contention.
Well, McFarlane has got one more card up his sleeve if he wants to, or is he just going to think, nah, this is the best 11 I've got right, or best 10 I've got right now, and see what happens?
Well, Fulham on the attack again, another goal kills it. Sessegnon up towards the edge of the area, out wide into the path of Kevin, back to Sessegnon, back into the centre, deflected away by Chelsea. Sessegnon gets it back, Wilson tries a shot, it bounces off the defender and repels towards this near side. That was a powerful effort from Wilson, which was heading goalwards and was blocked by a Chelsea defender in front of Robert Sanchez. Neto brings it clear. Chelsea go on the attack, on the hunt for an equalising goal. Joshua Champong, the academy graduate, touches it wide to the right. It's a bit behind Neto. It slows up the play. ball in field towards Caicedo was a little bit slow itself, and Jimenez went crashing in behind him to make a challenge he didn't need to make, and then Caicedo rushes the free kick, gives it away, and Chelsea now are on the back foot once more. Won by Hato from Wilson. Chelsea turn it over. James forward. A Champong out to the Chelsea right. They scamper up the pitch at speed with Pedro Neto. He cuts in field, plays it to a Champong. Caicedo again gives the ball away. And Wilson is there to tidy up for the home team, who are 2 minutes away from victory. You're listening to Fulham 2, Chelsea 1. Talksport 2 and Enterprise. Rent a car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. Bit of space for Sander Berge in the centre circle. He runs forward. He's got eyes darting, but who's he going to pass the ball to? Eventually he chooses Kevin, who miscontrols it, rather ridiculously actually. Wasn't paying much attention there. A little bit lack of concentration.
Yeah, but, just looking at the Chelsea players, they look out on their feet. They've given it absolutely everything. And I wonder, I said about Liam Delap coming up and pushing Joao Pedro up with Esteval coming on. Pedro Neto looks like he's out of it.
9 minutes added on at Bournemouth, where it's 2-2 between Bournemouth and Spurs. Brentford are going to beat Sunderland. Palace are going to draw with Aston Villa. Everton are going to hang on to draw with Wolves. Fulham are going to beat Chelsea. Man City are going to drop points against Brighton. It's great news for Arsenal. Burnley are going to beat Manchester. Well, they're only into the second half there against Manchester United, Burnley, but they are leading by a goal to nil. And Leeds are 2-1 up away at Newcastle in the 8:15 kickoff. Remember, over on Talksport, Burnley Manchester United will continue. We're into the 90th minute of the game here at Craven Cottage.
Could be a great night for Arsenal.
It's an absolutely belting night for Arsenal. 5 minutes of added time here. They'll be delighted because tomorrow they play Liverpool, knowing that if they win, they stretch their lead over both Aston Villa and Manchester City. Crikey. Adrian will be doing his nut. He thinks they get it. All the luck this year.
Yeah, he's so lucky after 38 games.
Challenged by Jimenez, and he gets a yellow card. And he's the latest to go into the referee's rather full notebook, I must say. With the red card to Cucurella, Tosin, Fernandes, Palmer, Cuenca, Castagna and Jimenez all on the booking now. And Marco Silva.
He's lucky though, Raul Jimenez. He hasn't got a yellow card well before this. He made a lot of tackles that could easily have been given a yellow card.
Wilson off. Adama Traore on for the final few moments of the game here. We're into the first of 5 added minutes at the end of the 90. And Liam Rossigna up on high. What will he have learnt from this 90 minutes, Scott?
I think he'd have learnt there's a lot of character in this Chelsea side. You know, and I said earlier, it's difficult to learn a lot when you're down to 10 men because the patterns of play that you wanted to see, that Callum McFarlane would have said that he was looking for, is very difficult to do when you're 1-0 down, to try and press them the way that you want to with full 11 men. What you normally do, you can't do that. But they've shown great character and resilience, and I don't think Chelsea deserve to be losing this game. I really don't. Fair play to Fulham for finding a way to win if they do end up winning this game, but I think there's a lot he would have learned from a character, from an individual and a collective point of view.
Brentford's finished. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa's finished 0-0. Everton into the 97th minute. Manchester City into the 94th minute. 1-1 there. 1-1 at Everton as well. Here it's 2-1 to Fulham, and we've played 92 minutes. And Callum McFarlane, the under-21 coach, is going to preside over another Chelsea loss. A loss that sees them lose ground. Remember, the statement that Chelsea made when they hired Liam Rossigna was that they believed that him coming in would give them the best chance of getting into the Champions League. That's their aim this season. Well, it's not going to be easy. Antoine Semenyo, in his last game for Bournemouth, has scored a winning goal in the 96th minute.
What an amazing guy for playing when he's probably just hours, let alone days away from a move.
Wow, what a story that is. What a perfect way to say goodbye. And he turned down Spurs as well.
A few do.
And now he's turned them over. It's another one of your little jibes. I spotted it, don't worry.
Big win that though for Bournemouth, isn't it?
Massive for Bournemouth, who have had a bit of a bad run really. Delap, who's played well tonight. goes down the right-hand side, away by Anderson. Listen, we've talked a lot about Chelsea. The narrative is Chelsea. You're obviously heavily associated with Chelsea, but the truth is that Fulham deserve a lot of credit too.
Yeah,
Marco Silva.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, he's a top coach. It's going to be fascinating to see what's going to happen with him and his contract.
Neto down the left-hand side, trying to take on Castagna. They're banked up now on the edge of the penalty area, Fulham, because they want to make sure they preserve this lead. 93 minutes on the clock. Tosin Adarabioyo takes over for Chelsea. Back to Caicedo, edge of the centre circle. Play back into Tosin and now onto Neto, left-hand side. He looks up, doesn't see too many options, has to go centrally again. It's one of those moments where you think, can he go down the outside? Can he test the full-back?
To be fair, I think he's out on his feet. He has done a lot of running today.
Well, Chelsea have still got one more change left.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't made all 5, to be honest.
Benjamin Šeško has scored for Manchester United. 1-1 at Turf Moor over on Talksport right now. Here is Caicedo. Remember, the boys will take the phone calls from 10 o'clock tonight. 03717 223344 on the sports bar. Neto for Chelsea. Right-footed on the edge of the area. Produced across towards the far post. A Champon can't get there. And it's out of play and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. And another opportunity for Chelsea to get back into the game. Disappears. And Liam Rosenior is sitting up in the director's spot with a very frustrated-looking Begdan Agbali. And he looks pretty frustrated as well, the Chelsea head coach. He's got a lot of work to do. He wants his team to win. He wants his team to play fast, high-pressure football. But he has today surrendered 3 points to a team just down the road in Fulham. They don't win very often against Chelsea, but they're going to experience the joy of doing so here in the next minute or so. Adama Traore picks it up for Fulham. Bursts towards the edge of the area. His physical power takes him away from Neto. He runs into Hato, who commits a foul. The referee doesn't give it. The ball runs out of play. And it goes out, I think, for a corner away to our right-hand side. It's only the second corner that Fulham have had all night. 2-1 the score in Fulham's favour. Into the final few seconds on Talksport 2. What left in the tank?
Well, Fulham just need to keep it in the corner. Just play for time now. There's no point in trying to put the ball in the box.
Well, the ball ends up in the air. Chelsea look to clear it. Jimenez darts into the penalty area, then goes down, but Chelsea emerge with possession. Referee says no penalty, no foul. Harrison Reed puts pressure on a Champon. Chelsea have it deep inside their own half. They've got to get it clear here. As 5 minutes have been played at the end of the 90. Fulham lead by 2-1. The ball is sent down the right into João Pedro, who's hardly touched the ball since coming off the bench. The referee is being urged to blow the full-time whistle. It's sent long towards the right, headed away before it reaches Neto. Up by Hato, away by Berger. The referee blows the full-time whistle. And Fulham beat Chelsea by 2-1. Harry Wilson's winner punishes 10-man Chelsea for Mark Cucurella's misadventure in the first half. It's certainly not the perfect handover. 1 point from 2 games in charge for Callum McFarlane. He goes back to his previous job in the Chelsea setup to make way for Liam Rosenior. Chelsea still might be within reach of the top 4, but the new head coach needs to find a way to turn around the form that has seen them win just 1 win in 9 games and suffer 8 red cards over the course of the season, which suggests there might be a discipline problem to sort out as well. Fulham move up to level on points with Chelsea thanks to a victory in the Southwest London derby, and they take the bragging rights from this part of the capital. Jimenez and Wilson celebrate. The whole of Craven Cottage does too. Fulham have beaten Chelsea, Scott Minto, by 2-1.
Yeah, and look, let's say congratulations to Fulham. I mean, it wasn't that long ago where they really were looking over their shoulder and the possibility of getting caught up in a relegation scrap. But what a run that they have been on. And you've got to give Marco Silva so much credit. Harry Wilson's been the star for sure. I mean, he scores absolutely wonder goals, and it was probably only a 7 out of 10, really, once he sort of flicks it from his left to his right and gets it in between Reece James's legs, and it's still a wonderful strike on his right foot. So well done to them for finding a way to win. I don't think they deserved it, though. I think for Chelsea, the turning point, without a doubt, was Marc Cucurella getting sent off. They were on top, controlling the tempo of the game. and then suddenly you're down to 10 men. It's another game that Chelsea haven't won now, and they really are on a poor run. But I do think there's a lot of positive to take from this game. I think you could argue that it was Liam Delap's best game in a Chelsea shirt, not just because he scored, but the way he held the ball up, how difficult it was down to 10 men. If it wasn't Anderson, it was Diop really breathing down his neck. But I thought he was superb tonight. Pedro Neto, excellent as well, down that left-hand side. Had nothing left, nothing to give. It was a decent performance from a team performance, but just the goals are so disappointing to concede in the way that they did. But yeah, let's finish on a positive, saying well done Fulham, and why not be thinking about a European place come the end of the season?
Well, Chelsea are going to slip down to 7th position in the Premier League, so when Liam Rosenior takes over as head coach, they will be 3 places away and 3 points away from the top 4. Time now for us to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here For It hero on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
So, is it Liam Delap for his performance at the top of the Chelsea formation? Is it the match winner, Harry Wilson? Who's our man of the match from today's victory for Fulham?
I'd like to mention Timothy Castagne as well. I thought he was really good up against one of the Premier League's best wingers. So he was trying to get forward as much as possible. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because it feels a little bit wrong to say Liam Delap when they've lost the game, but you don't have to have won the match to be the best player on the match. But no, I'm going to give it to Harry Wilson, just because, again, he has been the difference. Just a moment of brilliance. You could argue a little bit of luck, but you make your own luck. He's in brilliant form right now, so I'm going to give it to Harry Wilson.
Harry Wilson is our Here For It hero, man of the match in today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.